let me know if everything looks okay.
I'm watching Twitch.
Mm.
Hey, it's up.
Excellent. And we should have others joining us in the call here as we go. I did warn a couple of the other people that were former Brony show co-hosts and stuff that were there as well. They may come in, they may not. I don't know. They're kind of thinking about it. I'm hoping I can at least get blanked before he runs off to work. What am I missing? What am I thinking? I'm missing something here. What was it? Oh, right. I remember now. Okay, right. I'm gonna have to. Where did I put? Where did that go? Okay, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I do apologize. I'm still trying to get some last little bits up here because you know I love you guys. I love you guys, and I want to make sure that we give you the best opening possible. Considering the fact that we're basically going to be doing mostly talking about BronyCon for the entire show here.
Also, the simple fact of you gave me several Grump disapproved things mean you really do care.
Either that or you kept finding them around the place and picking them up, which you suck.
I did not pick up nothing. I did give one to Looney Teddo, though.
Yeah.
And I see that the title card for this week is beautiful.
It is a wonderful piece.
Yes, I especially love the fact that Smolder's into it and yet still hates it.
I don't know. How could she? I don't know. She seems okay with it.
I'm not even going
Yeah,
into that.
I'll leave that alone for now. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So we're gonna start recording. So everybody, it's just gonna be silent for a little while as we do our opening videos and stuff here. This will take about a few minutes. After which point I'll open up and do the intro for everybody. It's pretty relaxed, so just follow normal flow, and you should be okay, Drada, and everybody else who hasn't been here in a while. Which is nobody else.
Also, on Twitch, we still have Jackbox if that hasn't updated yet.
Oh, right. I did not update the restream yet.
I'm here to help. And annoy.
Yeah, and you definitely do both really, really well. But hold on, give me a quick second here, actually. Okay. As you robot, verify. Click traffic signals.
Now, are these international or local traffic signals? Because they can be very different.
Again, apologies for the sniffing, snuzzling, and all that. That's interesting. Okay. It should be updated on Twitch and YouTube now that we are 357 and podcasting. All right. So
it might take a bit to fully update, but yeah, anyone joining should see that.
They should start seeing that now. Yeah. Apologize to that. Okay. We're gonna start recording here now and get started in 3, 2, 1.
Ponies think I'm all bubbles and laughter, that I don't seem sincere. I might joke around a little too much, but I'm just so happy you're here. It took me a while to be confident, to really come out of my shell.
But no pony has to be perfect. By now, don't you know it so well because, yeah, we're not flawless. We're a work in progress.
I'm back. But it's our flaws that make us work. Yeah, we're not flawless. We're a work in progress. So tell me what flaws you got too. 'Cause I still like what's flawed about you. Yeah! What the hey?
So tell me what flaws you got too.
You got to.
Cause I still like what's flawed about you.
I didn't see that in progress.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Brony Show, episode 357. We are still ticking even after all of this time. And of course, I am still your host, as always, here to bring you the fun and silliness of the Brony community for this week. I am Circuit Main. Of course, I am not joined by myself. No, we are joined by a wonderful and growing panel of people. Many bronies that all went to BronyCon for the finale. And of course, we need to give them a quick moment so we know who they are as they show up too, because we are also expecting the possibility of a few more jumping in. But let's go down the list of who we have here, and hopefully they're not all gone, because half of them are muted at the moment. We have Marzipans.
I'm back, and I have turkey.
Marzipans has turkey. And we have Crazy Mac Captain.
I'm here just to listen and poke things. Make
And
sure everything's not on fire.
definitely the best way to have you, man. We couldn't do it without you. Honestly, we couldn't. I don't think I'll be able to keep track of everything by myself at this rate. But
It's all on fire.
it's all on fire! And we
It's
also...
always on fire.
Alright, and we also have joining us Deal Grist.
And he's muted.
Muted, quiet. Oh, wait.
Oh.
There you are.
Thing. I was saying, hello, who else got Concred?
Oh,
Not
yes.
me.
Yes. Horrible Concrete. But I guess we'll talk about that in a moment. We also have joining us from Dretta Talks, a fun little podcast that is on YouTube. Be sure to check it out, because they also did a talk with me about equestrian magic. We have Dretta Arcana.
Hey guys, Drata Arcana here, your favorite alicorn from Drata Talks. I hope you're all ready to partake.
Yeah, unfortunately, in order to let him in, we had to drop the OC filters for a moment, or else he would have been zapped on sight. Luckily, though, he was in black and red, or else he would have immediately exploded.
I'm sorry. Black and red stigma is strong, but also after that thing, yeah, black and red OCs are not looked on favorably.
Speaking of which, I did do a podcast talking about how not to make an alicorn OC, and that was part of it. Don't make red and black alicorn OCs. Just saying it.
I personally stuck with going with a lot of blue, and instead of going with like any other accent colors,
Right, moving on.
Moving on. Yeah, we're sorry. I just wanted to give the OCs a chance to talk before we kept shutting them down for a while. And we also are joined by Textalion.
Gee, I love having the con crud.
We are also joined by a random chattering robot that's already voiced himself several times, so we're not going to name him, lest we unleash the beast. We are also joined
you
by...
unleash the beast every time we do this.
Exactly. That's why we need to try to discourage it a little more. But we are also joined by Coal Dust. Or not.
He could have stepped away. Also, hi, Deathlight. How you doing?
Something and, okay, we have moved sarcasm up.
Yay.
I've been busy.
Yeah.
Hello, sarcasm.
Sarcasm.
And
Sorry, I don't think I gave you the proper roles for this just yet. No, I did not. Give me a quick second here. I think that's the right one.
Yeah, I ran into sarcasm while getting the second shit. Which, by the way, if we ever do get to have that option again, buy the shirt.
It'll probably be a different show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have Sarcasm, who unfortunately is one of the few people I did not get a chance to meet.
Me and Creature met him at the airport.
Oh, wow.
I met him in line.
Yeah, that was fun.
Actually, yeah, I heard about all the instances you guys got to meet him, but I was always like a few minutes too late. I mean, we even heard of you guys talking about meeting him at the airport as we got to the airport.
One more line.
Yes,
LineCon.
All right.
LineCon was strong this year, but then again, that amount of people, wow.
All right, so really quick. Now, I know everybody wants to jump in, talk about everything that happened. We still need to go over just a few quick things that will not wait until next week. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. We are trimming down everything else about the show today. So there probably won't be any videos of the week. We're going to have to do a 3-way video of the week. We'll call it Video Extravaganza. It will contain Anthology 7. It will contain a lot of everything that's happened in the last 3 weeks because lots of videos have come out, especially due to BronyCon. And we are going to cram it all in, and we're hoping to get it all in the Gmod Theater, but either case, it will be a big video show next week, so prepare for that. Our news is going to be extremely light, only the stuff that will not wait another week. And, of course, unfortunately, our normal things of, everybody's going to get their soapbox because everybody here is going to be talking about BronyCon. There is no What's Up Brony where, actually, I think Crazy Matt Captain and Crazy Matt Captain and CMC. Do you know you're two people, apparently?
Yes, I am.
Yes. But there's only two or three people here that actually would have a What's Up Brony anyway. So, I guess we'll ask real fast. Do you guys have anything silly that you want to throw out there real fast?
Yeah, what's canon?
It's a big metal machine that usually fires projectiles at a massive velocity towards an intended target, usually intended for mass destruction.
Now, see, I thought it was a thing that destroys chips.
No, actually, no. Wait, it's a weird It's a printer. It's a printer company that is not as bad as some, but unfortunately, it also has a pretty bad reputation and tends to chew paper.
But they have great scanners.
Oh yeah, the scanners are pretty nice. Okay. All right, so I guess we don't have any What's Up Brony going on there. So yeah, What's Up Brony will be taking a side seat. The fan content creation, unfortunately, that's also taking a side seat. I was planning on throwing this stuff in, but as we kept getting more and more stuff about the con, more and more stuff happening, more and more pictures, this con was lit. This con was crazy. And we will get to that in a moment. We're not getting into that just yet. We're going to quickly jump into quick news, but just a heads up, chances are 90% of this podcast is all BronyCon. So be prepared to hear everything that happened. And I mean everything. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about news.
You underestimate how much BronyCon there will be in this podcast.
Everything. Let's move on. Let's start off with a little bit of important news here with Humble Bundle. Currently, the Humble Bundle is doing the My Little Pony 2019 IDW comic collection. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this right off the bat. This has everything. Well, practically everything. Has all of the main issues. If I read the information correctly, all the main issues up to 72, everything from the micro series, not the micro series, the
mini series.
Not the mini. What's it? The mini series? Basically, the side story, the pony side stories, the Friendship is Magic side stories, Fiendship is Magic side stories. It has 4 or 5 different annuals in it. This has both Arting is Magics 1 and 2, Friends Forever, Legends of Magic, Holiday Specials, the weird comics that they call them comics, but it's really just a bunch of pictures that they put a bunch of text on, and then they kind of put it as a comic, but I don't know. I try to explain that one. I don't really care.
Yeah, that's
Nightmare Nights. It has the Ponyville Mysteries. This has practically everything that has come out up to a couple of months ago.
As I put it, it's basically everything but the past year, but this year of comics.
Well, not this year. Even this year, man. The
Like
Ponyville Mystery.
January?
Ponyville Mysteries was this year. End of Legends of Magic was this year. Nightmare Nights was this year. The Art is Magic 2 compilation was this year. There's a lot. The only thing that it's missing at this moment is practically the entire Cosmos arc and a few of the main side stories for the moment, as well as the new Spirit of the Forest, which is just recently finished, actually. So, yeah. This is, if you're going to get into the comics, I highly recommend getting into the comics. I encourage anybody who loves this series, get into the comics. Especially since we only have 11 more episodes to go. You have 11 more episodes, and then you are going to have to go to the comics if you want to continue getting more official Pony content. Otherwise, you're going to have to go to the fandom for your stuff, which is also really good because the fandom makes a lot of great stuff. But, the comics are great too. So please, please, please buy into this. $15, you get everything digitally that you can catch up on. You can spend hours on this stuff. I love the comics. They're a lot of fun. I make fun of some of them, but in all honesty, they are really enjoyable. Anyway, that's my little bit of a rant / spiel / shilling. But yeah, there's only 8 days and 16 hours left, so next week we will mention this again. But it will be shutting down the next day, so obviously we want to get it out now for very obvious reasons. Plus, Andy Price does these. I like his artwork. Andy Price is awesome. Moving on. Let's go ahead really quick into news as well. We already mentioned that. There's also a video recording of the San Diego Comic-Con panel by AC Racebest. The reason we also bring it up is it does talk about a little bit about the ending of the series and what it probably means for the fandom, at least in the Comic-Con panel. But I do believe our friend Sketchy Wolf, who has been on the show several times in the past, is actually on the panel.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah.
He posted about it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I know. I just wanted to be a little ambiguous. But, yeah, he was on the panel. So, check it out. It's curious. It's fun. It's cool. You get to hear a bunch of interesting insights. I also give Sketchy a quick hello. I shouldn't be talking so much. Throat is killing. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, somebody was saying something real fast before I jumped in.
No, I was just messing with your show.
Right. Okay. And with that is the essential news that we wanted to jump into. So, let's go ahead and jump onto the big horse of this one here, quote unquote. BronyCon 2019. The final BronyCon. Going on for a few years now, and this was basically the final hurrah before they decided to close doors. And this was one hell of a hurrah. Over 10,000 attendees, to the point they had to threaten capping the attendance with how many people are going to be jumping in. Essentially kind of like what our podcast is doing here right now, because I'm looking at maybe 10 or 11 faces in our chat room. But yes, there was so much going on. The concert venues were completely crazy. Panels were a lot of fun. A lot of great merchandise. People got to meet each other for the first time, and unfortunately for the last time in some regards. At least physically, face to face. But this was definitely, it was a somber con. Because not only was it the biggest celebration I have ever seen for any Brony convention, and it actually had more people at this BronyCon than they ever had at any other BronyCon. Even in its highest heyday, this actually surpassed. So, everybody turned out. Everybody showed up. People I would have never expected to see again. I even heard Mike the Microphone was apparently there, which I never thought it would happen again. But people turned up, and this was the biggest bash we have ever seen. Unfortunately, it was 4 days of bash, so A lot of us were completely destroyed by the end of the day and got also the worst con crud we have ever had in some regards. In all honesty, I'm still slightly recovering from the con crud I had because mine was a delayed trigger. I was perfectly fine the first couple of days after con, and then it hit like a bomb. But
Greta
anyway,
was completely unaffected by con crud.
somebody sneeze on him next time he comes into a con. Oh wow, you're under tornado watch. Okay.
Yep,
What?
I'm under tornado watch.
All right. So if we suddenly lose Drata, everybody keep an eye out for him. See if you can grab his plushie from the air.
Yeah.
I will pay a
I'll be
bounty on that
important.
plushie. $200 for the Drata plushie. We will hold it for ransom from him. Drata toxin. Soon Drata will pay.
I missed so much of what led into this that I legitimately thought you were going to say, we're going to hold a memorial, and then, like, you know, just the hodgepodge things with the tombstone and the candle, you know.
All right, so let's see. I think the best way to jump into this is literally to jump into this thing.
Well, Circuit, then allow me to go first.
Okay.
I didn't go. That's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yasuki didn't have a chance to go, which is really a shame. Which also means we're gonna have to drag him to one of the other smaller conventions.
I didn't go either.
Unfortunately, time off. The way time off with my works is kind of sucks. So, yeah, I was not able to request the time off or anything. I probably could have afforded it.
That sucks.
I could have before I bought my car.
Well, if there's one thing that I've learned from this con is next time there's a convention you can't go to that any of us are going to, we can bring a cardboard cutout, so that way you can live on in spirit at the con.
Yo,
Brett, what was up with that cardboard? Actually, I think I saw it a couple of times.
Yeah, there's a cardboard cutout of some guy. I don't know who he is, but I think his name was Mitch. And yeah.
It was Mitch, and they were drawing all over the cardboard cutout and taking pictures of it.
There is a lovely picture of Mitch receiving that cardboard cutout after the con.
Ah, that is nice. Alright, so right now I am literally scrolling up through our con chat here. Throughout the entire convention, we were keeping in contact with one another, taking pictures.
Don't forget about the fabled first day, which by that I mean Wednesday.
We might as well start off on Wednesday. A lot of us pretty much popped in on Wednesday to get things started. It ended up being a lot less eventful for me and my crew than we anticipated.
Actually, my con experience started on Tuesday because I came down on Tuesday and I ran to Mike.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go ahead and get started since you were there on Tuesday.
All right, I was there on Tuesday. Actually, Marzi beat me there along with Creature. I don't know what you guys did.
We mostly slept, and I don't know what we did on Tuesday.
Well, what I did on Tuesday was I rode a train all day Tuesday, and I didn't arrive in until about 9-ish. But it was actually kind of awesome because on the way in, like just 2 stops down from my station, I see a guy get into business class as well, and he's got a Rainbow Dash hat on, and like I just look and I'm just like, oh man. So he sits in the seat that's like right across from me, and I'm just like, and I just point to him like, I know where you're going. And then he realized I was Brony too, and it was awesome, and it got better, cause like, so I gave him art as I do at conventions. If you've never run into me at a convention, you've not received a free print from me. Try harder next time. Anyways, so I gave him art, and then he realized, wait a minute, I ran into you like 3 years ago, like BrodyCon 2015, 14, I don't even know which one. But yeah, we rode back from BrodyCon a long while ago, and we ran into each other again and reconnected, and it was awesome because not only is he a brony, he's also a brony who also likes trains, which is fucking sweet. So we were just riding the whole way, just like, talking about the con and also making fun of just random rail things that we passed by. We had a lot of fun laughing at the name of SEPTA because that is not the name of a transit company. That's the name of a company that deals with septic systems. And so we just ripped into that the entire way. We passed those freight cars that are full of poop, and then we were just like, hey, SEPTA must operate that. And yeah.
It's so much fun to see two train nerds enjoy themselves the way gaming nerds
We
would.
also talked about how much fun it would be to just go up to someone, say, hey, nice hat, and walk away, despite the fact they're not wearing a hat. Sounds like a fun thing to do. We didn't do it, but we really wanted to. He really wanted to more than me.
And he bought a hat at the convention and ended up in the local paper.
He did, yes. Yeah, like legit. So, so basically my Tuesday consisted of that, and then when I actually did arrive, we split a taxi, and then, I was in the area, and I was looking for Mike, because I had no idea where Mike was, and Mike was like, I'm at the hotel bar, and I was a days in. I was like, what? When did we have a hotel bar? It might very well have a hotel bar. I don't know. But for what I knew, it didn't. Turns out he went to the Hilton. So we met up. We talked about both of our trip experiences which his was a lot less chill than mine. I'll let him explain that if he ever pops in, because he has quite a story to tell. And then we just chilled out until Wednesday. Now let's get into Wednesday things.
Ooh, I was up at 3:30.
Well, let's start off with the funnest picture that we got right off the bat here, the upside down BronyCon flag.
Oh yeah, that was on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, but
took that.
It was so fun. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Was
when
that
me and
ever
Creature were
fixed?
flying in, they were testing like the console in the airplane, and it was saying obstacle, 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 pull up, pull up, pull up.
I missed out on the Wednesday pre-reg rush. I was actually in New York seeing Hamilton. So I didn't get back until like after midnight.
Well, there wasn't much to say for Wednesday because that's other than trying to grab your badge early. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump into Wednesday here because I do got a bit of a story. Wednesday was hell. It did not go well for me and my group. So let's go ahead and get started here.
For us.
Well, here's the fun part. Now, Wednesday was a little bit different for me and my crew because, for one thing, I had a crew. It wasn't me going to BronyCon by myself this time. No, since it was the finale, we dragged along Cody, a.k.a. Blinked Mind, and also Haru, who was also a big watcher and semi-contributor of this show way back when. But yeah, we're still in contact. We're still good friends. And they both wanted to go to BronyCon, so we ended up having Haru camping out here in Casa de Brony show for a few days. And then we all were going to grab a ride to go over to BronyCon. Now, I set up arrangements with a friend of mine so that we could all get there, try to keep our costs a little bit down because I figured I was going to have to do a lift a few times, and a friend owed me a favor, and I figured it'd be a lot easier to have a friend that we could put all of our luggage in his car and make sure we all get there in one piece. And then he flaked out on me at 3 o'clock in the morning through a text message stating like, oh, I don't know, my left arm is starting to feel really hurt, and I soaked it and it still hurts, so I'm not going to drive you. Sorry. I could think of a few angry finger gestures at that point. So, especially since I didn't get the update up and up on this until about 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning when I just woke up, and I'm starting to try to get things ready for said con. So not thrilled about that. By the way, that's a badge right there. That was they were giving out at some of the hotels for a short amount of time while they had them. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get one, but it's a cool little badge. So I'm going to start putting up pictures here as I find them in the con chat. If anybody wants to jump in on a story or anything with them, please feel free to do so.
So my Wednesday started at 3:30 in the morning, a long 12-hour drive with a friend of mine. Yeah, we got to the Days Inn, checked in, and then I spent the next 4 hours waiting for my other roommate to show up, who, by the way, had a very interesting thing happen to him. The tram that he was on from the airport to the hotel had bed bugs.
Ugh.
And, I know. And then they put him in another tram to get to it, and it basically stopped twice because of electrical failure.
Huh.
So his story was more interesting. Mine, not so much. I feel bad for my friend, and he's an amazing person, but that's just not how you want to start your con.
It isn't. Unfortunately, there's a little bit more to the story that I haven't quite gotten to yet. So I'm getting back on the Brony show track. So we called the lift. I assumed that the lift, it said it was for 4 people. I'm thinking, okay, we can fit 3 people. We have one big baggage and a few smaller bags, but we should be able to cram everything in. It shouldn't be a problem. This guy comes up and he's just like, I don't know if you're going to be able to fit everything in. My trunk is full. And we're just sitting there, kind of a gap, and it's just like, you're supposed to have room for 4 people. But the 3 of us alone could barely fit. How in the hell are you? What? There's something wrong here. But we decided. He basically was just like, so do you want to cancel this? Do you want to try it anyway? It's like, this guy's not even like, you know what? I can't carry you. I'm gonna cancel it. No, he basically was wanting us to cancel. So guy is a bit of a jerk right off the bat. I know what the lift policies are, and he didn't want to cancel on us. He wanted us to do it, so we would still have to pay for it, which is bull crap. So yeah.
How much did you have to pay?
It depends on how far you're going, essentially.
Well, it's usually the appearance fee, so like total to show up and not go anywhere is like $5 to $7. Should be it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But that's still, extra money that we didn't want to blow out of nowhere, especially when we ordered a car that should have had enough space. So we decided, okay, you know what? We're going to try this. We're going to clown car this thing. So we ended up we started cramming everybody in. We managed to barely get everybody in, the suitcases in, everybody's crammed in the back. I'm in the worst position because I'm in the front seat. I managed to get the giant luggage bag that's going to hold all of our swag into my lap, but this thing is like barely pressed up into my lap. I'm basically stretched across the chair as far as I can go, and the plastic handle is pressed right up against my throat, so it's kind of choking me like this the entire time we are driving, and I cannot move an inch. And I can't buckle my seatbelt either, so I'm in a car I don't know with a guy that basically he didn't know how to run a lift very well. I'm just gonna put it down like that. It didn't seem like a good lift runner. I had a large baggage pressed up against my throat, and I could barely move my head, and I am pinned down. So I got several fears basically wrestling in me right now. And I have to spend 15 minutes deeply breathing and trying not to have a panic attack while we're going down to the freeway, which also takes a while not freeway, the airport, because it's rush hour as well. So everything is going to be a little bit slower and more convoluted. Yeah, that was not fun. I did not repeat that on the way home, I'll tell you that much. I spent a little extra to get a bigger lift just on the off chance of that kind of bullshit happening again. But so yeah, we did manage to get to the airport though. We get to our plane, we find out it's been slightly delayed. Okay, no problem, no big deal. It can happen. We'll be there a little later than like a little after 4. As we're waiting, sorry everybody, your plane is going to be delayed further. And it's a little more annoying there. So we wait, and now it's looking like we'll be showing up about 4:40. We managed to get on the plane. That wasn't a problem. We all got into our seats. All got set up. I do feel bad for Haru though. His headset didn't work. So he's hasn't flown on a plane in 10 years. He's got high anxiety. He's trying his desperate best to distract himself from what's going on around him, and the headset isn't working, so he can't even watch a movie or a TV show on the little screen the whole time.
Ew.
So yeah, I honestly feel so bad for Haru on this one.
They sell cheap earbuds for.
No, the
$5
earbuds didn't
on
work.
those
It was
flights.
the jack. The jack was broken in the seat handle.
Oh.
They should have given her a refund.
That's not going to be enough for a refund. They're not going to refund that. Please, you'd be lucky if you can get $1 out of them for that.
Send the plane back for a refund.
I wish. But yeah, we get in the plane, and then it starts basically course-correcting, changing directions, because apparently there's rainstorms everywhere, so it can't make its normal flight, delaying us even further. Long story short, we didn't get there until a little after 5. And about that time, we also had 2 others waiting for us who knew that we were coming, and were also sharing a hotel room with us. We also had Comet Starshot, who was going to be rooming with us, as well as Index. A lot of old-time friends of the show. A lot of fun. So yeah, I'm still going through these shots here. But yeah, we finally meet everybody there, and luckily the last part isn't so bad. We get onto the train. We get up to close to the convention center, up to where it stops because of the sinkhole that we all know about. And we just walk the rest of the way to the hotel, get our room without a problem. The air mattresses I brought actually fit perfectly fine, so the trip there sucked, but once we got there, everything smoothed out and my plans worked. My backup plans for air mattresses and everything worked, which is the most happiest day of my life, because Deal also needed to sleep in there with us. Isn't that right, Deal?
Yep, I paid in pizza and drinks.
Yes, he paid in pizza and drinks. And, of course, after we settled in there and we realized we didn't have to help the Traveling Pony Museum unpack their stuff, everybody decided to go and get their badges. Me and Cody went ahead right into the special line and got our media badges because we're big, important media people, and that was so nice, not having to wait in that line.
you lucky dude.
I wasn't lucky. This was 6 years of planning, or it feels like it anyway, because I've gotten a media badge from BronyCon ever since I started going. They've always brought us on as media podcasters, which I'm always so happy for. BronyCon is so awesome for doing that for us.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
the others were waiting in line for an hour and a half, so me and Deal had pizza and goofed around in the room until they finally showed up.
Here's the thing. Whenever I got there around 6 o'clock, the line was already out the door, wrapping around the building, ran across Cole and Creature, right at the corner before it goes back onto that little street with a skywalk above it.
Yep, that's pretty much right. The theme of this con this year was Line Con.
Also, Cole got to sign stuff while in line because he came out on it. He's famous.
And luckily for me, I was able to bring up that picture at the same exact time. Perks of running a show, DM12. Yes.
Doing this, so.
Yeah, definitely perks of the show right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was fucking strange. All right, so Wednesday. So first off, me, Marzi, Mike and and Creature, we all went to hang out because we were already there. And, you know, what else are we gonna do? Like, there was still, like, a lot of time until pre-registration line opens. Like, when did it open? Like, what, 5, 6? I don't know.
Probably started at 5:30 because I walked from my... I started walking about 5 o'clock and got there at 6 because I was an eighth of a mile from the convention.
Anyways, we were late. Or, sorry, it was late whenever that happened, and we were already in town, so we decided to, one, go to Uno's and pick up some, or not Uno's, or is it Uno's? Yeah, whatever, the pizza place. We went and got pizza, which was delicious. And, oh, before all that, me and Mike and we went to have breakfast at the B&O restaurant, something, which I was all about because, I mean, breakfast is great, and also B&O, that's a railroad. Unfortunately, the only railroad thing in the restaurant was basically just the logo in the front. But hey, whatever. It was still nice and awesome. And also that was how Mike paid for rooming for me for the first night. Breakfast. Best kind of payment. Anyways, moving right along, we all after, or maybe before, I can't remember. Marzi, help me. Was it before or after? When did we go to Ripley's?
We went to Ripley's before we had pizza.
That's right. Anyways, we went to Ripley's, and that was all kinds of fun, like a lot.
So, what new things were there from that wasn't there last year?
Well, there wasn't a bunch of Harry Potter stuff this time, which was nice compared to last time I was there. It already seemed kind of dated by that year. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. Last year, or wait, was it the year? I can't remember. Anyways, so, yeah, so we went to Ripley's, played some games and stuff. We all got kind of frustrated at that game where you're supposed to get the loop around the weird wire coil thing.
Oh, you mean that game? That is always a fun game.
Yeah, it was. I managed to do the difficult one successfully when no one was looking.
I did it when nobody was watching, and nobody will believe me now.
Around, I was like, "Look, guys, I did." None of you were watching.
But it was recorded through the one-way mirror.
So, like, there's a one-way mirror at the other side of that room, which has a camera that records everything that happens in front of it. It's supposed to be, like, a way to record people who are, like, doing a thing where they
they show you how you could curl your tongue, and people are supposed to curl their tongue in the mirror, and then when you go through the maze through the other side, you can turn it back and see yourself curling your tongue.
And I realized that at the other side of the room, you could see me. So I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, you can see my success. And it was proven. And we were like, yes. Mostly, I was like, yes, see, I am a victor. And then, like, we went ahead a little further to the point where I was just making faces in the mirror. Because that's just what I do whenever I see mirrors. And well, let's just say now my Discord server has a new emoji. So that's a thing. Marzi, do you have the picture on hand?
I was just trying to find it here. I found it. I'm gonna post it now.
Okay.
There it is.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
It was my favorite as watching it on video.
It's great.
As you grew more and more disturbed.
So, by the way, if anyone ever wanted to know what I look like when I have a disgusted face, there we go. That's it. That's it right there.
In fairness, Cole, you have a beautiful face.
Suck up.
Thanks, I guess.
All right, so I would show it, but I'm trying not to lose my place in the con chat pictures here.
Tell you what, we'll DM it to you.
Sounds good to me. But yeah, here are pictures of them all at Ripley's, so you can see all of the fun stuff there.
Yeah, I really didn't do anything outside of wake up, get dressed, go to the convention.
This was Wednesday.
Wow, you put on a little makeup, something, shake up.
We are not doing chop suey, Cole.
All right. But yeah, that was Wednesday for the most part for everybody. I don't think anybody else.
No, you didn't get to the line.
Oh, you have yet to get the image line.
I did actually show the image lines.
Oops, fuck, I sent that to the exact wrong person. Delete.
But no, I did get to the lines, and I even showed the pictures of the lines. Yeah, in the chat room, they even expressed a little bit about it here. The beginning of LineCon 2019, they capped the line at apparently around 8:30 or 9 p.m. And I think it actually started to rain at one point, so they shuffled everybody into the hall.
Oh, I was in by that time.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty all right. We all got into line. We hung out for a while. We talked to the people who were in front of us and in back of us. T5 joined us in line. T5, by the way, is the guy who I ran into again on the train. So yeah, he spent the morning riding the Acela, that lucky bastard. So anyway, so we hung out in line, and that's where things got weird. By that, I mean, so I did my normal thing. I gave out more prints. That's just what I do. And so then this one guy posts a picture of it to Reddit, to like some BronyCon Reddit, being like, you know, look, I haven't even registered yet. I've already gotten swag. And some guy in that Reddit, who just so happened to be someone who follows me on Tumblr, Little Pebble something.
Oh, it's Little Pebble. Yeah.
Yeah, Little Pebble. He notices and he's just like, hey, I know that art anywhere. That's Coldust art. Next thing I know, he turns around and is like, wait, you're Coldust? As if I'm a person who's worth knowing anything about. Which I was just like, yeah, I am. And then he was like, can you sign this for me? I'm like, okay.
Behold, when the artist anti-ego clashes with familiarity.
Next thing I know, like 5 other people in line are asking me to sign their prints for them. And it was just like, this is so strange. This is so strange. It was a real ego booster, which was surprising because I forgot I had one of those. But yeah, so it was really freaking weird. But what made it even weirder was so like that guy who like, you know, posted to Reddit, like he ran into me like 2 nights later at Brony Palooza, and then he was like, hey, I'm having artists and stuff sign my badge. Can you sign my badge? I look at his badge. There are like legit artists on here, like Brayburned and stuff. And I am not worth being on this badge, but okay.
That's one joke that I really didn't mess with the whole going as Brayburn and not standing in front of Brayburn's sign.
He actually didn't have much art for Brayburn, as far as I recall.
But you know what I mean.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell because, well, let's get into Thursday here, unless anybody else has any other Wednesday things they want to drop in.
I didn't get to say my Wednesday.
Please go ahead then.
Okay, Wednesday for me. Guess what? The first shitty thing happened to me. On my flight, the first leg of my flight, the reclining seat didn't work. So I had to sit with my back creaking like, ow. And that wasn't going to be helpful for what's coming up.
That's right.
So once I lug my massive suitcase and my bag to the Marriott, and then to the convention center, I get to wait for staff check-in because the printer broke. You know how you waited quite a while in line for your media badge, right? Circuit?
Yeah, well, not a while. I actually walked up and grabbed it. It was the easiest thing I've ever done to the con to date. What about the rest of you?
I had to wait like maybe an hour, 30 minutes or an hour or so to pick up my staff badge.
Okay, that sucks.
That's still short. That is still short because
it still sucks. Let him have his sucky moment. It does suck.
Yeah, because once I got it's usually instantaneous for staff badges.
Yeah, I mean, staff has to grab the badge and get moving. It's usually not one of those things where they're waiting in line with everybody to grab a badge.
Yeah, usually we would go to the con ops office. Sorry.
But
no,
once
it's okay.
I got my staff badge, oh man, the work just piled on. I had to do inventory, setting up panel rooms, up until about 8:30 in the evening. And I think Winchester had to go even longer because he's one. I believe he was one of the main hall board ops.
Yeah, he said that it took an hour or so longer because of union.
Yeah, there was a joke about the BronyCon union over there apparently on Twitter recently.
Speaking of union, we had a problem with them on Saturday and Sunday, but I'll get to that on Saturday. But I'll get to that later. Coldust, didn't I run into you on Wednesday?
I think you ran into all of us, like me, Creature, Mozzie, and Cole, along with T500 or Quick Fix, as we know him.
Oh yeah, the only one I didn't see was Circuit.
At least not yet.
We all hung out that night, but my legs were like jello at that point.
I can't remember if we actually did any hanging out at night.
We just stood around in the entryway and chatted.
But then the security started chasing us out.
Yeah.
As they are wont to
Even
do.
me, a staffer.
Yeah, I think at that point we all split, and then
we went to get Jimmy John's, I believe.
That's right. We went to Jimmy John's and then we split.
I followed you guys, and then
I followed Cole.
I pretty much just collapsed in my hotel room.
Okay, so
and then
I
that
followed
brings us
Cole.
to Thursday, which I believe Circuit is you first.
I haven't said my Wednesday thing. Actually, I started on Tuesday.
You already
at
did
3 a.m.
you did your Tuesday talk. Was there anything on Wednesday to add?
Not much. Tuesday was basically driving. Rainstorm hit us about Kentucky, and because of the hills there, well, really mountains, we had to slow down, but someone gunned right past us. Hydroplane into the back of a truck. No one was really injured, but the car looked like its back end got hurt. That's when we decided, we're going to sleep as soon as we get to the next town. Turns out, we were in Winchester, Kentucky. There is irony in our friend's name there. Yep. After that, we just went from Winchester to Baltimore, settled down in the hotel. I bid my mother adieu and hopped my little butt over to the convention center and then LineCon.
I remember what I did on Tuesday. Me and Creature went to T-Mobile because I flew all the way to Baltimore with no cell phone.
Ew.
To be fair, you saw my phone. It is a dinosaur.
Yeah, but I only had a pocket watch. That was all I had.
I swear, you two are too cute together, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, Creature, real fast. No, I don't have access to your photo library. This is literally everything that was in our con chat. I am just going down it little by little. So it might be that you're the first person to post a lot of pictures in our con chat, and I actually went all the way back to the actual Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays we were posting the stuff up on. So all of these were pictures that were being taken in real time as we were talking and bouncing things around.
Also, apparently the Hope 18 was there.
A lot of people were there. Like I said, practically everybody was there. Though, here's an interesting picture because it pretty much is the way that I identified myself throughout the entire con. And ironically, it was also the same way I identified myself at a previous con, BronyCon. That's right. I carried a big giant flag and I waved it around in front of a pillar. That's how I identified myself at the con. I made a big flag for all. I'm kidding. I wish I had that kind of idea or stamina.
Well, somebody had a flag.
No, they did. The flag guy is actually right next to me in the picture here. It's not a good picture.
Now you see, Circuit, when you said identify myself, I thought you were going to say that you just looked at your own badge to see who you were. I'm sorry.
Nah, I get it. Yeah, Hope got it. The hat. I wore a green fedora the entire time.
That's how I find him.
That's how I kept finding him.
Yep, the green fedora was pretty much my mark in order for people to find me because I figured 1, it's noticeable, 2, it's green, 3, it's familiar because I did wear it at previous BronyCons.
1, I wasn't at previous BronyCons.
1, I didn't care. Moving on. Okay, but
2, we had a game about this.
But this was something that I just decided to do for the convention to make myself more noticeable, and for the most purposes, it worked. So yeah, Thursday. let's go ahead and get into Thursday and the beginnings. It was a late start to the day, and it was pretty interesting because I think most things just started at like 2 or
No, it started at noon.
most things started at noon. So yeah, a few panels started at noon, as well as this. Reason I'm sitting there, my feet were actually utterly exhausted because I was doing a lot of running around earlier in the morning, and I was just giving them a chance to rest while I decided, how am I going to get into the vendor hall. And I decided I'm just going to wait out the line because the line was already pretty long. It shouldn't take too long before it finally exhausts itself.
Okay, for context for people, the hall opened at 2. Second, when did you get in?
Technically, I didn't get in until like maybe 2:45, 2:50, maybe even later than that. I don't know. Here's the thing: they as soon as they finally let the general public in, the line started to move, and then keep going. I decided to move over to the entrance, and I swear to the gods, I watched 1,000 people go into that vendor hall before I realized, shit, my plan is not going to work.
I've got a picture in the con chat that it's a panoramic that shows the whole line from the view of the second.
That would be Creature, I believe.
Okay, let's see.
Because it goes all the way back up to where the doors are at Pratt.
Yeah.
The thing is, I got a little bit lucky because before they started separating people, they did allow people in to go to the Wild Bill's drink thing, where they were having the limited edition mugs again. This time, Deal's information was pretty close to accurate because they did have the con mascots mugs, 3 of them, and they also have an embossed con mug that they actually had on silver. And luckily, I was able to get in, and even Cody was there to save me a spot in line. And we got a mug each before they started kicking everybody out. So only the sponsors and gold members and all that were let into the room while everybody else was making line con outside.
Gold member.
I call it gold member, but that's because that's what they're called in FanX here, the gold members and gold members. Oh, I just hit it. Okay. Yeah. But no, how was that merchandise line? Oh wait, were you even near the vendor line?
Oh, I saw it.
I was nowhere near the vendor line at that time.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans indeed, man.
Hey, he wants to know wins. I don't know if he's gonna pass out or not.
We're doing it right now. We've been talking about it right now. He's more than welcome to just jump in.
Alright.
So
I didn't know.
Yeah, just let him know to jump right in. We're still talking about it as we speak. We're on Thursday right now, but yeah.
Thursday at noon, I arrived like an hour early to the U-Ponies panel with Little Shy, and my memory is foggy. It's been a week. Anyways, I actually held the door for security for the panel to let people in, which allowed me to be the first person with a regular badge into the room because I was nice enough to hold the door.
I got to do dispatch things, and no, Thursday that was orientation. So conveniently, vendor hall opened to the public at 2:30. That's when my mandatory meeting was. So I got to go in there after the unique stuff was picked through, but they still had a lot. And I think most of the con I didn't see any tables like run out unless they were the plushie tables.
Okay, well, that explains a few things here about something else, sorry. Okay. Hello! Okay, so everybody, quick introduction here before we let him go off on a tirade because he's limited. D-pad! The Brony, our favorite D-pad from several years ago is now here.
Also known as Slick Deals.
Do we have new audiences? Is there anyone that doesn't actually know me?
There actually are people.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yes. But for those of you who don't know, D-pad was a big part of the Brony show. But we'll not get into his history. Instead, let's go ahead and jump right into the con chat, because D was actually in the Traveling Pony Museum and at Ground Zero for Thursday vendor hall opening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a yearly vendor, and I'm also sick as fuck, so you have to forgive that mad amount of throat clearing. That is absolutely going to be happening throughout this talk. So, Thursday was absolutely insane. Attendance broke about 10,000 by, like, Saturday. So, Thursday was equally a bomb. We got rushed and slammed so hard. I think day one, we had totaled, like, $30,000, and that was day one. I'm not going to get into the final numbers because I don't think I'm allowed, but the point is, man, vendors were making bank for the amount of insane work we were, frankly, forced to do. We had the triad going on here, though, like the Pony Museum and the Russian Bronies, and I forget exactly who was next to us, but that triangle of vendors was, like, responsible for, like, a huge amount of the vendor revenue that came in.
Hold on, I can get the con.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't stress.
It's not that important.
Don't worry. Don't stress on it.
But I know Torben Austin Prince, who's in here, he sold 50% of his stock Thursday.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, we kind of don't have the ability to run out of our stock, which is both cool and a shame in my case. But yeah, I know vendor sales topped like 550,000, somewhere like that, like in total vendors, which is nuts. But man, this convention was ridiculous, and all the vendors were like mostly all talking to each other, saying, "Holy shit, everything was insane." Also, 2 people died at this convention. Now it's a party. Like, holy.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Died?
Yep.
2 people died at BronyCon. One was really sad. One was really crazy. Oh.
At one of the concerts, there was a guy had a seizure right behind me.
Yeah, and that guy died, unfortunately. Yeah,
Did
he had a
he?
seizure.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah,
no.
like,
Wait, I thought that guy.
Apparently
I thought Caesar guy died in a hotel room.
No, there was another guy that had a seizure in his hotel room.
The guy in the hotel room is the one that died. Okay, so the one that happened behind you probably didn't die. But so basically what happened there was that homie like wasn't supposed to go to this convention. Like his parents didn't want him to because he had obviously some form of issue. But he didn't tell that to his friend who bought him a ticket because he thought, yeah, I'm just being a cool dude. So he didn't know that. So homie went to the concert, went back to his hotel room, had a seizure at night, and nobody was awake to do anything about it. So that dude died. That's sad. The other dude was really sad that BronyCon was ending, did a ton of blow, and died from ODing because he was upset BronyCon was ending. What a unit!
Oh, that is both horrifying yet awesome and sad.
Like, don't do it, by the way, to all you fucking people out there. Don't do it.
By the way, this is the reason why the podcast is unrated. D is the exact reason why we're unrated.
Yeah, but what a fucking unit.
Yeah, don't follow after my footsteps on taking stuff you shouldn't.
I also heard that someone fell down the escalator because the concert
the
was
amount of injuries,
so intense.
The amount of injuries at BC was insane, but the party was like excessively so. Us vendors were fucking flying. People sold out their stocks like day one and actually got to enjoy the convention. I wasn't one of those people, but that's fine.
Yeah, the plushie people, they got...
Plushies were out, my dude. And we're all here partying. Like, there's some crazy... Dude, someone brought absinthe and took it to our printer guy. And, he was printing just fine, but I got to, like, kind of watch him while he was printing, and I just kind of watched him, like, beady eye stare at the computer. I'm like, bud, are you alright? He's like, yeah, there's, like, things dancing on my computer that I know aren't actually there, but I'm doing fine.
He was able to see. He was able to see within the pixels.
Oh yeah, no, he was good. He was good. He was hallucinating, like he was mad up, but he was good.
He was able to see through the false reality.
Also, hey, D. I'm just popping in and out. So good to see you.
Who the fuck?
That's Suki. That's Suki.
Oh, well, what up, brother? Yo, like on the last day though, we were like trying to play some weird ass card game like Cosmic something. I'm sure someone here knows it. It seemed really cool, but all of us were super dead from like getting mad stormed the whole weekend by Bronies, buying our shit, which again, pretty cool problem to have, but man, was it hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so a lot
This
of
homeless
my
guy came up and harassed us, and like the guy who was harassing was our buddy and was also an Air Force man, and me and my buddy Sasha were staring at this guy. Two of us are New York hood kids, and that dude was one wrong move away from getting jumped by 3 people that have been in fights a lot.
I can imagine just simply by how you act, because you definitely have the hood streak, but not the look.
No, not at all. No, I'm like 65-pound white kid. I do not. There is no amount of hood I look like.
No,
And,
I could probably take him
speaking-
out just by pushing him hard enough, but no offense, man. Yeah.
Frankly speaking, like, and the hood stuff is generally not part of me when I'm feeling at all good, but I'm not. So here it is, fantastic. But what else happened at that crazy convention?
One thing to bring up here that since I mentioned you are part of the Traveling Pony Museum, we did have a special thing going on with them with these special circuit main shirts.
I got mine.
Oh yeah, fuck that. So basically, Circuit here gave us the shirt because we print on site. We have a shirt press, we have a cutter for everything. We're pretty good at what we do. It's honestly good. We have a lot of things that other people don't, so my business is kind of really cool to look at, really annoying to operate, but really cool to look at. And Circuit comes through like, hey, I got this design for a shirt. Can you print it for me? We're like, yeah, we can do that. And he's like, and can you sell it? And I'm like, are people going to buy it? He's like, yeah, people are going to buy it. I'm like, all right. So we put it up. People just had to come through and ask us, hey, I want the circuit design. And we had like 5 or 6 people coming by for that. And we're just like, okay. Like, it was a lot more than we thought we were going to hear about that. But that thing was a bitch to cut. The cutter never cut it right any time. So Inky had to like hand trim whatever it didn't end up cutting. And like 2 or 3 times, like she wasn't able to press it right because of its weird fucking shape.
Yeah.
Cole, how do you feel about that?
This design was straight up a mess to print.
Honestly, I don't mind that. But yeah, no, it's hilarious because when I went up to get my circuit shirt, because I want to pay money to see my art on a T-shirt and wear it on my body. I basically, I could hear Inky Notebook in the background saying, "I'm going to kill Circuit when this is done."
I honestly feel so bad. I didn't think it would be that bad for her.
We have me and Inky were fighting all weekend. Like, this convention made us so damn angry, which is not the fault of the convention or anyone really. It's just holy shit, we were never able to stop working for a damn moment.
Yeah, every time I walked by, you were at least trying to help someone, and I was one of those people that was like, just checking on an associate and friend. Oh, you're looking at something? Oh, don't mind me, just being a polite person.
But yeah, D pretty much says it up right. The vendor hall got destroyed on Thursday, and everybody probably made more money than they ever seen at a convention ever. Sold out of things that they probably never thought they would ever sell out of. Mm-hmm. You went through there on Sunday, it was practically dead. It was empty.
There were a lot of empty stalls.
Yeah,
but there were a lot of people that were like, "No artist is leaving this con having not made a profit."
No.
Ill profit.
But
ill profit all around. Now, there were 1 or 2 unfortunate events. One of the vendors actually dropped their physical money bag like in the streets of Baltimore, and that shit was gone.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's a rough blow. That wasn't their electronic sales, and a lot of the sales were electronic. But I do know that person likes to push the cash, so that might have hit them harder than other people. Not really sure.
That still hurts. That definitely hurts. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that hurts us, and we probably paid that person.
So you know what? We talked a little bit about D the vendor. Let's talk about D the attendee. Well, semi-attendee, because like I said, you barely had a chance to really let yourself relax. But
okay.
You did have some moments out there.
Yeah, I had a few moments out there, and listen, So a lot of my time was spent with the people around here, but me and Haru had a few solo runs. So we went to the concert together. I had some weird shit concerning furries go down with me this weekend, like 3 or 4 instances of just furries modestly harassing me. But there were 2 that stand out. We're at the concert, and this dude in like a bird suit just kind of walks up to me, and he had 2 choices here. He chose right. I'll give that to him. He chose right. He walks up to me, kind of stares at me. I don't know this guy. And he just kind of puts his hand up to my cheek and just starts gently molesting me. And just kind of stares at me, and I just kind of keep staring at him. And he just walks off, and I'm just like, damn. He did that to Haru, he might have gotten dropped. And like, then back at the hotel, we were delivering something, and like, fucking, this dude in a furry suit is just running away from some other dudes chasing him. Homie runs behind me, grabs me, and like, does something weird to the back of my neck, and I'm just sitting here wondering, yo, what is happening here? And he was saying something, he was whispering something to me. I don't know what it was. He was in a fucking helmet. You think that would have, like, been a factor to him? Clearly not. And the guy in front of me who was chasing him is just kind of, like, staring at this guy through me. And he's not helping the situation either. Like, he's not helping me understand what is happening to me. Eventually, homie lets me go, and I'm still none the wiser for this event.
Yeah, the suitors are having fun this week.
The suitors were
they had
mad.
they did a parade through the freaking vendor hall. I recorded that.
Actually, they do that every year, they did that every year, I guess I could say now, but
Honestly,
yeah, no, there was a lot of
first
fursuiters.
I get to hear a lot of things through the staff grapevine, both as a vendor and because I know a few too many people. But I'm gonna sneeze. Pain. All right. Now, so the stuff that was going on this weekend was a little ridiculous. There were people hid their shit really well, but the sex, drugs, and brony rock and roll going on that weekend was crazy. Like, they were straight up treating that shit like Woodstock.
To be fair, some of it was that Woodstock.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, a lot of people, this was their breakout thing. And like, you know, we got our friend Haru, who I'm not about to put on the spot too terribly, but you know, definitely putting him on the spot just a little bit. Who was like kind of had this gentle heart to heart with us, and was just kind of like, yeah, you know, this has been surprisingly helpful. Like, this is kind of eye opening. I'm like, yeah. And Haru's like saying that, like, you know, it's gonna be slow, but he's gonna kind of get his shit together, and you know, that was something he wasn't sure that was ever gonna happen to him. I'm like, yeet, bitch, damn.
You gotta remember, through all the stuff that people critique us about and say, oh, that's no good, we are actually good motivated people underneath all the insanity.
We're a bunch of batshit crazy people, man. Let's just face it.
Yeah, exactly. But the loudest of y'all are the worst people I've ever met. That's the issue.
Unfortunately.
We will not deny that.
Nobody can deny that. It's always the loudest that has to be the problem.
Damn, we're the worst people I know, bronies. They really are. Hot damn. But that's all right. Which, I mean, I guess in fairness, the worst people I know are also trans, but that's not indicative of trans people. That's just those particular people who are assholes and also trans. So you gotta try and look at it.
It's basically people be nuts, yo, and people be bad, yo.
Alright.
Fucking crazy. And BronyCon was no different. Yo, you cannot imagine how many, like, fights broke out. You got to, like, hear occasional little slivers of reports over staff about people breaking out over ponies. Shit was amazing. Now, a bunch of them, the con staff couldn't really do anything about, because a bunch of them took place out on the street. Which was amazing, because a lot of them didn't get stopped for a while.
Sheesh.
Have you ever seen 2 people in fursuits duck it? Because, like, it's amazing.
I can imagine it would be a fun spectacle to watch, and that's why they have it as a kaiju wrestling match for some events.
No,
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
No, really. MetroCon
I
has.
believe it.
Yeah,
But,
MetroCon has this event, and there's a company called Big Kaiju, like wrestling or something like that. I'll have to look further into it, but it's a real thing.
No doubts here.
ridiculous. But honestly, like my case, he was from the vendor hall. Honestly, I couldn't get into a single damn panel. Not that many were interesting to me. Even using the press,
Yeah.
there was like everything was just jammed.
My printer guy wanted to go to the Faust panel, and so did, literally everyone, but he went up there. He couldn't get in. That said, my boy Finch, who's part of our table, he got in. And he got in because he, snuck in, apparently. Apparently he wasn't allowed in there and just kind of got in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, whatever the Faust and his Bonnie panel, because I'm forgetting her last name, but
Bonnie didn't have a big panel. I was able to squeeze in without a problem.
Yeah, she's because she's notoriously really petty.
Wait, really?
The problem with Bonnie is that she's hyper fucking jealous about Gen 4. And we're talking ridiculously. Like, that woman is venom spewing over this shit.
She hates G4?
No, she's jealous.
Well,
Crazy
she does.
jealous of the G4 success.
Well,
I guess I can't exactly blame her, considering that you try to create a pony franchise.
Different generations are gonna appeal to different people, and this one just happens to appeal to the most amount of people. It was just a good adaptation.
And plus, the '80s kind of railroaded her altogether with her entire pony creation to begin with.
Yeah, she didn't get a lot of creative say after a while.
She got a really short end of a stick.
She's not thinking about any of that. She's just thinking about damn, people are fucked. This is my shit, and it was it was your shit, but also there weren't enough grown-ass men looking to watch cartoons when you were making that.
Also, his thing, we revere her as an alicorn in the fandom simply because Lauren was inspired by her work. She is the reason we have the show that we have because of how.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, she's jealous because she doesn't see the full context.
No. You know what? We can't say why she's jealous because her feelings are her own. We can get ideas. Yeah. I mean, we got plenty of ideas, and
the real problem with it is just, straight up, nobody gives a shit about her. A lot of people see, yeah, she started it all. We wouldn't have this without her. Great. And then the other 90% are like, Faust is amazing. Who's this bitch?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that I'm like.
All right, okay, Toa. Okay, bring it down, Toa.
I'm not too loud.
No.
What?
Anyways, we got to see, but from the thing is that there's definitely because I did a lot more roaming than anything else. There's a lot of fun in the air, but there was definitely that little sense of sad that this was the last one. There couldn't be a better focal point than the memorial, which I imagine you've shown a picture of by now.
I'm trying to. I can't get past the days. There are so many pictures.
Wasn't there some dude that was handing out suicide pact cards?
What? No, was there?
I think so. There was some dude that was straight up handing out suicide pact cards. I was just here hey man, this BronyCon doesn't have to end.
Yeah. You did not run into that person.
I didn't either. Anyway, go to TrotCon.
Well, that could be, that one could be bullshit. I don't know. That's just that one I just heard. That I didn't actually run into, so that one could sincerely be bullshit.
Yeah, it was just spouting nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a panoramic.
Yeah. But in all honesty, Thursday after I broke away from the cold crew because his concert and whatnot, I was up in the skywalk, between the area that was not BronyCon but still contained a lot of us, and the Starbucks and panel room Star, and just dancing to songs in a Braeburn outfit because I'm why not?
Right.
Oh man, I had to put on like some furry shit. Like we had someone at our table who was helping us, and she's like super professional at making fursuit shit. And I like put these on, like these gloves, these big ass paws, and I'm just like, damn, I get it. And it was like super fun, and she made them like really flexible, so I could straight up finger guns at people, which was awesome.
Okay.
Yo, people were getting blitz at this.
I can't say I got blitzed, but I definitely got. I wish so much I could have made you that drink I was talking about. Haru got a chance to try it, and he's like, he actually threw him for a loop. He was surprised how well it was.
Yo, I mean, I got to like try the root beer, and I don't know how the mix was. I didn't try the mix. Yo, that shit was rank nasty. That root beer, man.
Yeah, the root beer. Well, it's definitely nasty if you take it straight, unless you're used to it. You definitely want to mix it with this.
Yeah, no, I took that shit straight. That was rank nasty.
Nah, the root beer was more of an experimental one, and it actually works really well if you just mix it with normal root beer too.
That's dope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, but do you have any idea how many high people walked up to me? I'm pretty sure there was one dude that was coked up to shit that came through.
I do not doubt it.
That dude was jittery. I'm pretty sure that man was absolutely macked. And frankly, I hope so.
All right, here we go. Now I got to the pictures of the memorial here, or at least
I sold a book to a cokehead.
One of the memorials. One thing I should point out about this memorial, it kept changing until they finally cleaned it up. So this isn't even close to its final form.
They just fucking threw it all away.
Well, they didn't throw it all away from what I heard. They actually let people take some of the things that they wanted with them if they wanted some of the stuff.
And then threw it all away.
Then they threw away the rest of the stuff. Yeah.
They threw it all away. Yeah, like it didn't make it, man.
Well, yeah, I doubt it.
Really funny.
Yeah. Well, some of it was pretty much trash, which I can't deny.
I mean, a lot of it was trash, man. That shit was garbo.
Yeah.
But
just look at the cleaning lady who had to clean that up.
I mean, don't worry. It was just a bunch of paper and plushies and shit.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
There was
more than that.
There was like condoms and thongs and.
Oh yeah.
No, there was a lot of stuff. Yeah, we were there for cleanup before we ran into Zeta and Rosie.
But there was like food and ants and empty like cans and stuff. Like.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, BronyCon was a nasty ass party at night.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could have gone.
It was fun. I mostly stayed clear of any major nasty stuff, but with that many people, you knew there was some dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of like people. There was a lot of people like doing it with each other, like in the upper levels. That happened a bunch.
Oh, there was plenty of stories and possible stories.
So much.
I heard something about a virginity losing room that somebody was setting up.
I mean, that's a thing. Like every BronyCon, that actually isn't special here.
It's for every con, actually. If you just look around, you can find it. So.
Yeah, you can find it generally. There's always that room.
Yeah, I don't look for that.
It's about as sad as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Me, already an experienced 22-year-old years ago, thought to myself, okay, well, I'm very curious. Walk in, scope that shit for approximately 12 seconds and say, all right, good enough. It was exactly as sad with exactly the male to female ratio you think.
Yes to no.
No,
I'm guessing the male to female. I'm guessing was yes to no.
Pretty much.
There was like a female, and I was not. Handling that. Yeah. No, I wasn't handling that solo, let alone with like 12 other dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with not knowing.
All right. Anyway, we're showing a quick video here. Here's a video I took of possibly the largest Shippic folder card game that was going on at a moment.
Oh,
that is madness.
You found one of them.
Sure. Yeah. I'm indifferent. Let me know if you want to hear like history of BronyCons, because I got that shit.
I think we might come into that. We'll definitely come into that more in the future. But yeah, right now we need to finish up what we did with this one.
At
But
this point, I need to take and go because
yeah, so quick thank you to both D-Pad and Blanked here for jumping on once again, just to give us the spiel on the back end of
Sorry, I
BronyCon.
very clearly suck.
No,
You
all right.
this was
Also,
awesome, man. You gave us a lot of stuff that even we didn't know about. So this was great.
Yeah.
Also,
Vendors
enjoy
hear
the
a
cutie
lot
marks
of
I
shit.
did just for you.
Well,
Oh yeah, I got those sitting right here with me.
actually, one of mine got destroyed.
I'm still finding it hilarious that this is not intentional, but I never actually saw Joe at the con.
No, it's all right. I didn't see you either.
Yeah, but I was told about the story. I laughed pretty hard. I gotta go.
Yeah,
See
it's
you
all
later.
right.
Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, see you guys later. Thank you once again.
Peace.
So yeah, like I said, surprise guest. Anyway, let's go ahead and get moving on here. So
So,
that's
we on Friday or the end of Thursday?
actually, I think this point we'll go ahead and jump into Thursday and Friday because Vendor Hall was one of the big things. Everything else though was party and panel pretty much, unless people did something special.
There was something else that went on that was really special Friday. There was a ship shelf.
Okay. So
right, show that.
I finally started catching up a little bit with our posts here, so I should be able to hopefully dig for the ship shelf. Yeah, here we are.
Okay. So the little story. This kind of started Thursday and leaked into Friday. Your friendly Drada was sitting having lunch when we saw ships at and I was like, wouldn't it be interesting to take two plushies, have them face each other, and take a photo in front of ships? And then we just, like, the next day, my entire crew that I was rooming with were like, hey, we have about, like, 20 plushies in our room. Let's just bring them all to the ship, to that location and start shipping. And we started, like, advertising around, asking people to join in. And people were joining in. And then we had, like, a bunch of people take more photos. And then they left. Then another group of people, and it just escalated to the point where we couldn't fit any more plushies on the shelf, and yet we were trying to. We did this for 4 hours. It was a blast.
All right. Well, one thing I did want to throw out here, it's not exactly BronyCon related, but it was one of the big things that we wanted to do for our convention run. We actually, on Friday night, we actually went to the expensive Brazilian steakhouse, Fogo de Chão. Oh, wait, actually, I forgot the other thing. We actually went, me and Comment went to the bar trot, the final one that they did. I'm not going to lie, I've heard good things about the previous bar trots, but I never got a chance to get in there while there were passes. Then the first time I got into one, it was more of a tour of the different breweries, which was still pretty cool. I learned a little bit and got to sample different beers. The last two bar trots, I finally was able to attend those. And they've been a little lackluster because the previous ones, they had like merch and other fun things going on with that. These ones, they basically gave you a wristband, said here's a bunch of bars you can go to, and here's a coupon that'll work on one of them of your choice. And they have a few Brony themed drinks. Have fun.
Hey, Circuit, what day was it that we ran into each other, like, outside the Days Inn? Was that Thursday or Friday?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think it might have been a Friday, though.
I think it was Friday. It was, like, Friday morning, because I was on my way with my friend to go get coffee, and it was just like, you were like, hey, I recognize that OC, and it's like, I went into my normal spiel of where I got it, and then it's like, you were like, don't you run a podcast? And I was like, yeah, try to talk. It's like, yeah, I'm Circuit Man. And I'm like, oh, now I have a face to the.
Yeah, the face always scares people away.
No, it's fine. I like having a face to the person. I'm not afraid of anyone's face.
Nah, I'm just, yeah. But yeah, anyway, unfortunately, I wish I could say that the bar trot really stepped up. It did a little bit because there was 3 locations instead of 2. One of them had a really, really awesome, they kind of like a rainbow punch kind of thing going on. It was delicious, and you couldn't even tell there was alcohol in it, but if you took 3 drinks of that thing, you would have been dropped. It was powerful stuff. And the rest of them, yeah, in all honesty, I was kind of disappointed in the whole bar trot thing, which is sad. I wanted it to be a really good bar trot, and it was okay. which I'm guessing is okay that we at least got it okay. I at least got to try some crab nachos. That was really awesome. Actually, the crab nachos were really good. You know what? I'll go ahead and upgrade it to good. Crab nachos, and we also got to try a really amazing mixed drink that I wish I could have drank more of that, but I really wanted to try the other drinks the other bars had, and unfortunately Comet was also ridiculously exhausted because Thursday basically wore him out before we got to the bar trap. Anyway, moving right along here, we're going to go ahead and start showing off merchandise pictures here. So if whoever gave these pictures, if they want to talk a little bit about the fun merch that they got, you can go ahead and do so. Otherwise, you're about to have everything exposed for the world to see. Anyway, these are double R4s, so we're going to go ahead and let people talk. Anybody else have anything else they want to throw out there for Thursday or Friday?
I do.
Go for it.
Guess how my Thursday started.
Busy.
I got to continue setting up panels, go to a meeting, and then finally sitting on some panels. Now, do any of you now Thursday? Now after I got off shift, trying to get into closing ceremonies was like trying to find the green room or Area 51.
I think we should probably just avoid closing ceremonies until we get to.
Oh wait, no, excuse me, not closing ceremonies.
Opening ceremonies.
Opening ceremonies.
Okay, yeah, let's jump into opening ceremonies real fast.
Geez.
I missed all of it. I didn't see any of it, but the best part is already in a video here. But yeah, this is the video they came out with.
Hi, I'm
Okay, Circuit, I need to send you a picture of our opening ceremonies experience. Because, okay, so basically, I tagged along with Textalion Textalion had never seen the opening ceremonies before, and now he never will. But anyways, that's kind of getting ahead of things. So we waited in line for a long time. This line was freaky. She was around the bend. But I was like, I mean, it's opening ceremonies. It's in the main event. They always have room to celebrate my wedding vows. Not this year, bitch. No. They cut the line, and then we were like, what? Where are they sending us? And then we found out they were going to crowd all of us into another room. What was it? Pastel Paskers? Yeah. And then they played it on a live stream. Except the live stream kept failing over and over again. So in the end, we ended up watching it on Textalion's phone. To which I have this beautiful photo that I need to send to Circuit. Where are you, Circuit? There you are.
I'm everywhere you want to be.
Basically, so there was some random kid who was also in the crowd with us who had a video camera to record, his BronyCon experience. And during opening ceremonies, since the stream kept going down, he ended up videotaping Textalion's phone.
Yep, he did.
I've got a picture. Hang on. Here. This is from the event. This actually happened.
And I can confirm that.
It was so weird. In the end, since the stream kept crashing and we weren't sure when it would be coming back, we just decided to leave the crowd and just got in line to get soda, which was good. The soda was delicious to everyone except for me, because I am one of those weirdos who doesn't drink soda. I don't really like carbonated drinks, but the ones that I tried were okay. The vanilla soda was great, except it was a little too sweet for me, so I actually had to end up dumping it towards the end. I bought one of those things for the refills throughout the con, and I did not make use of it at all. I had one refill, and that was it. But hey, at least now I've got a lovely metal mug with an orange tag.
There you go. That's the spirit.
So do I.
But yeah, Hope, from what I understand, it was crap. I didn't even get a chance to see the opening because I was in the vendor hall, or trying to get in the vendor hall. Made a little column
Oh,
A,
and
column
speaking
B.
of vendor
Like
hall,
the ending stream that I caught on Twitch, it was but it could have been done a lot better.
The ending stream was at least a little bit better, and there were some hiccups, but I at least got to see the ending, which was nice. But yeah, I didn't even try to enter closing ceremonies. I just watched it through Twitch.
Oh no, no.
It was at that point that I realized in the con that I should not try to get it, like, unless I really, really want to get into a panel and main events. I just kind of avoided main events throughout most of the con, because, like, oh hey, there's this panel that's got all these big names. When's it happening? In the next half hour? Well, there's no way we're getting into that.
I don't know. I still got into a few of them. The only one that I essentially somehow snuck into was Anthology 7.
Which we aren't showing at the moment because...
That's tomorrow. That's next week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and continue through the merch hall here. Anybody else have any other Thursday or Friday highlights?
yeah, so we
Let's
just
see.
wanted
I mostly just hung out with Cole and crew, who only splitting it off like around concert time because I didn't know it was happening, and did my thing in the hall.
The concert was absolutely great. Just all 3 nights, it was amazing. I'll get into the last night in a bit, but for the Thursday, Friday concerts, they were fucking amazing. It was kind of interesting this year because there were 3 nights of concerts, but because they had the concert in the same room as they have the
Main event,
the Grand Galop and Gala thing. They ended up having the concert on Thursday start at like 11, which was a bit odd, but hey, they still rocked the fucking house, and it was great.
Do you know if any of them got recorded by chance?
Yes, actually, Marzi found me and T5 in the crowd for the third night's concert, and apparently it was all live streams.
Yeah, basically, I head in on this on like either the end of the con or day 2 with Winchester. Yeah, it would have been the end. Winchester basically said, yeah, we're recording all the concerts because technically this is still fan content and Hasbro can't do anything about it.
Let's just leave that alone.
It has like clips and whatnot, but they've dealt with that before.
And yes, the concerts were streamed on BronyCon at home, but it still felt like it could have been done a little bit better with how some of the camera angles felt.
Well, still, it still would be nice to just have them just so you can enjoy the music and enjoy some of the visuals at least.
Speaking of the Thursday concert, it was amazing. Except somewhere around 10 or 11 or so, I had a fall.
It's true, he did, and me and T5 helped him over to the chairs in that where he got to regain his strength.
Mm-hmm.
Which then did you fall again on your way back to the hotel, or?
Almost.
Okay.
On the escalator.
By the way,
there for a bit.
By the way, on some of these pictures, just real fast, some of these pictures I'm showing are of the merch hall I have. So if anybody has any questions in the chat, let me know, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Really quick though, the blanket that you see right there it was a special BronyCon blanket that they only had for people that worked during BronyCon, and I just happened, and Deal was nice enough to get me one. Or should we omit this, so in case we end up getting in trouble for omitting that?
I mean, who's gonna get you in trouble?
I guess that's a good point. The blanket is really soft though, and I love the hell out of it. But yeah. But yeah, any questions on the merch? Any questions on the merch? Feel free to let me know. But we'll go ahead and continue on. Sorry, please continue.
I think I ran into Cole sometime Thursday when I went to check out the concert.
Yes, you did. And then you kept pointing at things and pointing out things when I was just trying to enjoy the music and dance out. which I admire your enthusiasm, but dude,
I know. Just let the beat move you.
Just let
By
and
that
people
time,
enjoy it.
me wearing boots kind of made me go, yeah, no, I think I'm done for a little bit.
Yeah,
but the first night was really awesome. It was kind of interesting because like the schedule wasn't exactly the same because what was supposed to be on schedule was, as far as the closer, which was a Stratch Attack. I could be mispronouncing his name, which if I am.
By the way, Cole, that
stop! I'm saying words.
Toa, just let people finish a sentence.
Anyway, so he had to cancel last minute, so everyone else's set I think got extended a little bit, but all in all, it all went really smoothly, and it was just all in all a fucking good time. Oh my gosh. Gosh, what was it? Changeling? I can't remember. I can't remember the lineup, but all I know is the entire thing fucking ruled. So yeah, the second night was also really good too. Friday night. It was shorter, but well, the band the DJs they had play, they fucking rocked the house, and then they ended on Silverhound, and he fucking killed. It was awesome. So yep. That's what I gotta say.
Silva always kills whenever he's at a concert.
Oh, hell yeah, I know. But I gotta say, he was a good one to end off on that night. Anyways, moving right along. Who else has got something for those 2 days, if anything?
Well, just to jump in here real fast, as I mentioned, I did get into Anthology 7. It was awesome, and it was a lot of fun, especially with everybody hooping and hollering. I also did get into the Equestria's New Groove one actually, that was Thursday, but yeah.
Oh, I was in that one as well.
But yeah, this one was hilariously awesome because I'm really impressed here. They actually got all parts of it uploaded into YouTube right now. So the entire 8-part thing is in here, 8 parts, obviously. Are we actually going to try to show this on the show some point? Possibly, but I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a hell of a trip to do it. But I really want to do it too because it's the Emperor's New Groove done with ponies. How could we say no?
Circuit Gmod.
Well, that's one of the things I'm thinking here. If Gmod works.
Not this. Winner, loser.
Yeah.
Okay. See this panel?
I'm more worried about Disney than Hasbro on this one.
Yeah. By the way, I freaking love the fact that they did do the whole joke of Spike being the new Rainbow Dash and making it the transformation.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough of a theme song guy. Anyway,
Oh, you got it on a smear as well.
That's exactly how I work, baby. Anyway, move on. So moving on. So yeah, I did catch all of those. I didn't get a lot of panels this time. Most of the time I was in the merch hall just trying to find stuff or get into it, to be honest. But
That's how it was.
Yeah, it pretty much was what it was. Which it was really hard to get the panels, but I like this. I like the panels in the smaller, more intimate ones, to be honest. Anyway, so I'm not too disappointed.
Hey Cole, what about the Mad Libs?
But no, here's one. No, I'm pissed. I'm pissed at this. I'm gonna get real pissed at this because Sarcasm got some of these, and I wish I knew these were there. I would have gotten some of these, but I didn't, and I didn't know they were there, and they were gone when I found out they were there, so I couldn't get them while they were there. So there was another bookseller here. It was the Golden Oaks Library bookseller that had a lot of fanfics that were printed up into book format and sold. And they had a lot of fun stories. Some of them that were already being sold by other vendors. But they had the best night ever, which is basically a groundhog telling of the worst night ever, which is that is such a good story, and I would have loved it. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. And anybody else want to jump in on there? I think I covered up all my insanity there.
Actually, Cole, wasn't the Mad Libs panel that we went to on Friday?
I can't remember which day that was on. I thought it was Thursday.
Well, you know what I mean. That was fun. Oh, and the trivia one.
Trivia was freaking amazing.
And yet somehow Mozzie and I were whooping both you and Creature.
I mean, that's
were
not
any of you at
surprising.
the Too Many Pinkies panel?
No.
Now, one thing I will say is I was actually doing pretty good. And I'm ashamed to say that that was cutie mark identification. I apparently know way more cutie. I apparently look at pony butts a little too much, which is something I think we already knew. But that was kind of what hammered it home when I got every single one of them right, as opposed to most of the people there.
Mossy and I only
feel
got
them.
one wrong. Well, one
Yeah,
or two,
I know.
forget.
I didn't get any of them wrong, and I'm one person as opposed to two.
Well,
Anyway.
also, Cole, you gotta remember, I'm doing this on the fly and trying to relay it, so...
Even so, I'm kind of disappointed in myself in being that good at identifying cutie marks. But
Says the man that goes frame by frame in videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. Anyways, though I will say, both me and Creature, both of our scores fucking tanked whenever it came to the Equestria Girls category, because
mine rose!
I do not pay anywhere near enough attention to Equestria Girls because I went to high school and it sucked. So there
We all
go.
went to high school.
I
Dude,
went
the
to
last
high
2 years
school
of my
once.
high school.
It was
Last 2 years of
painful.
The last 2 years of my high school was completely useless to me. So.
Yeah, don't remind me of high school. Oh.
But that's my point.
I had a 9 GPA.
High school sucked.
I had like a 3.6 GPA or something like that.
I don't know what my GPA was, but it was enough to get me an honor roll, which is kind of disappointing given that I'm a factory worker now. That took me a long way. Whoa.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is, if you're in school right now, don't try. It doesn't get you anywhere.
If you're in school, don't go to college. All you'll get is a massive debt, and you'll end up just getting a burger flipping job.
Hey, I'll let you know.
Whoa, hold on, hold on, Circuit. Hold on, Circuit. 1 fucking second. How dare you make it sound like I went to college?
Oh, snap!
I'm the one that got into college, damn it.
You had to put that image of them working on my OC after the rave on Saturday? Seriously?
Well, he could say he busted his ass dancing.
Well, he did, yeah.
He boogied his tail off.
For 30 minutes straight to Michelle Craver and Black Griffin.
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
I was there whenever that was happening, but as someone with a Hollow Knight head and weapon, I kind of can't really jump.
All right. So one thing I gotta ask here real fast before we start getting into Sunday and then just the random little things here because we
skipped over Saturday.
Okay. Well, we try to get into Saturday and Sunday and random little things here. I just have to ask, what in the world is this?
Oh, you mean the dice pool? That was in the
I need a drink of something hot, strong. That was just too much.
Did you not go into the tabletop room?
No, I didn't have a chance. I was always running around somewhere. I literally did not have a chance. I looked into the tabletop room, but I didn't actually go in there once. I'm kind of disappointed now. Okay,
There's a
so
pool of dice, and you can get like a scoop for like so many dollars.
that sounds really, really awesome. And now I'm just gonna guzzle this peppermint schnapps here real fast.
When your DM is pissing ass for all your d20s.
Wait. If you could just get a scoop, do they also give you a bag to gather it in?
God, I hope so.
I think there was like a cup, like a specific cup that you'd go in.
That's even better cup. That's great.
I think it was $20 a random scoop.
Dear God, a dice pool. Oh my God. Anyway, that's pretty cool though. I like the idea,
The other side of the pool said no diving.
I imagine why. I can imagine why.
I can't figure it out.
Okay, so, all right. In that case, let's get into Saturday and Sunday here for the most part. Does anybody have any highlights or anything? Oh, wait, real fast. Actually, hold on. Stop everything. Deal.
Hello.
Okay, so unfortunately, Deal does have to run off here, which is no surprise. We're getting close to our normal ending time. So, Deal, do you have a quick shout out or something that you wanted to throw in here before we lose you to the annals of history?
I'll try to be here next week because I know there's some BronyCon stuff. Well, mainly anthology, but maybe BronyCon stuff that'll make its way into the videos. But
yeah,
being short and sweet because I haven't put all my thoughts on paper yet. I had a lot of fun, and BronyCon kind of got me through college. Like the whole Brony thing started in college, and BronyCon was my first con. I worked it the whole last 7 cons, and I got to meet you lovely people through it. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of vendor hall. Spent a lot of time just like people watching when I wasn't on shift. Just to like, it's just such a unique experience seeing, like, if you can think of a type of person, they're at BronyCon, and it's just cool to see so many different people coming together and enjoying it. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Like I'm looking at other cons, and I guess I'll talk about it a little more sometime on what's at Bernie's section or something. But it was cool to see you guys. I'm glad everyone had fun, even though there's a lot of standing in lines and stuff.
Oh, standing in line is fun. At a BronyCon, it's fun. It is hard to be in a boring line at a BronyCon.
I make friends in line standing at the grocery store.
I couldn't stand it. No, seriously.
I
I needed to lose weight or something because standing in lines just hurt the hell out of my legs.
Look at the bright side. At least you didn't fall 2 stories and squish all the fun stuff out of your joints.
Touche.
Also, Theo, real quick. What department were you in?
I was in the whole time I've been in VIP relations to different capacity.
Oh, I was in events.
Yeah, I'm sure you had fun yelling at us time or two because
Oh, I was only a board op, so I wasn't involved in any of that.
I had a thought. It ran away. I think con crud kept me from having post-con depression because it hasn't hit yet. So I'm just expecting to start crying at work one day.
Honestly, it didn't exactly. It kind of teased at me a little bit, but I think just after all of the cons that I've just been leaving, and I felt like blubbering like a goddamn, just blubbering. I finally got used to just being able to accept and let go. Plus, I've had like three other cons that I enjoyed shut down, so it just kind of started to get numb to the process, I suppose.
Well, it was bittersweet to start.
It was a bittersweet, but it was also, we knew it was a finale, so we had a good chance to actually say our goodbyes in a fun and enticed way.
Yeah.
By blowing tons of money and exhausting ourselves to the point where we got a horrible con crud.
Yay! But no, seriously, I had a lot of fun. I hope to talk about it more again sometime. But I'm not gonna hold up the show for it. So I hope you all have a good
night, Deal.
Good at however long we have left to do this thing.
3 minutes.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, getting back on track here, as mentioned, Saturday. Does anybody have any highlights, interesting things, etc., so on and so forth for Saturday?
I do. Actually, not for Saturday. It's actually a Friday thing, but this is something I need to bring up.
Shoot.
Okay. So you know how many times in the past I brought up how there was that one panel me and Creature went to a broadcast. I think Creature was there. It was me and somebody. I want to say it was Creature, but might not have been. We went to a panel, and it was a voice actors panel, and they cut to questions from the audience. And there was that guy who went to ask a question about an episode that aired that day. Remember this story? About how we all booed him off the stage, or how everyone like howled and hissed at him, like, no spoilers. Remember that story?
Yep.
I met that guy. It was great. Okay, so I went to go run into one of the railroad bronies that I met there, because of course I would run into railroad bronies at BronyCon.
We spent a lot of Thursday with the railroad enthusiasts.
So Friday, I run it like it's before the concert, because it's starting late, and I run into one of these railroad bronies. He's talking to this guy, and he's telling the story of his first hangover. And so he goes on about how like he had 2 white Russians that evening, and it was a horrible mistake. The people he was rooming with just kind of left his room because he was laughing like a maniac, and he watched the new episode that evening. Right? Right. Next day, he went to the panel, and he had the worst hangover he'd had because it was his first one. So he was already not in a great state. White Russians hangover. Okay? Okay. And so, of course, he laughed all night about that episode because he thought it was hilarious. So he was going to ask the question, because this was, of course, the episode where...
The last laugh.
Yeah, it was the last laugh. It was the episode when the main six published their journal and then becomes super popular, and then
Oh no, last laugh's the other one. This one you're talking about is it has not the flawless one.
Fame and misfortune.
There we go. Thanks, Toe, for throwing off my story, you jerk.
Well, I thought it was.
Toe,
It's okay. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. I know.
I'm not.
Anyway.
Tell what, we must throw you off the bridge again.
But
You have been banned.
Anyways, moving right along. So, he was going to just ask, where was Spike when all this was going on? And he wasn't going to imply anything about the episode at all. Like, at all. It was basically just like, so in the newest episode, where was Spike when all this was happening? That's what he was going to ask. And he tried, and then he tried again and to, like, get the words out as everyone was booing him. And finally, like, you know, the voice actor, I think it was the voice of Celestia, who was just like, I don't think that everyone's seen that episode. Yes. I don't think everyone's seen that episode, so maybe hold that for another time. And so he then dejectedly goes back to his friend in the audience, who's just like, dude, do you know how close you were to being torn to shreds by the audience? And anyways, but like as he's telling this story, as he gets to the point where he's like, I went up to the microphone and I went to ask my question, I just erupt with, wait, shit, that was you? And then he's like, dude, you were there? Were you one of the people howling no and like just like, and I was like, yes I was. and at the end of it all, we both had a good laugh about it, and he got a selfie with me that he said he was going to post to Twitter, and I don't know if it ever happened, but at any rate, that was just a great encounter. It's like I've been telling that story for like a good couple years now, and just to have that and get the full story, it's just like, it was great. So that's all I gotta say there. Continue on with your Saturday shenanigans.
Okay, so there's that. Anybody else have any other shenanigans that they want to post, talks, mention?
Aside from me doing my Hollow Knight thing and being in the costume contest, I gotta be in the cosplayers lounge. And there was a group of, I believe, Japanese bronies that were first suiting as Celestia and Cadence. You would have seen them walking around.
I got something.
Shoot.
I got invited to go to the concert through a vent.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
I was in the bathroom in my hotel room, and I could hear the neighbors through the vent. And I told Creature, and we listened to them for a minute. The guy was like, "Wow, my urine's like crystal clear as a lake." And Creature shouted, "No one cares about your urine." and then you could tell the guy was drunk because he was trying to talk to me. He's like, "Hello, hello," and I was like, "Hi." He's like, "I'm drunk."
Well, I'm gonna throw one out here real fast. This was one actually I went to, and Vaguely Creepy apparently joined in on me. I tried to watch this last year, but I was completely exhausted, so I didn't have a chance. So this was my only chance left, since I don't really see this at other cons. I went to the burlesque show on Saturday.
Woo! I was there.
Wait, you were there too?
Yes, Drada was there. Totally.
Oh.
It was my first time. Yes.
Yes. I gotta admit, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. You definitely got what you expect from a burlesque show. Both females and males coming up, dancing to music, stripping. Some actually did a comedy act. A few actually just sang and posed around. It was really interesting, in all honesty. I really did enjoy a good chunk of it, though. Granted, they did ask them that videos weren't taken, not too much information given out, things like that, because a lot of people were kind of shy in doing it for the moment. So just so I don't accidentally do something I probably shouldn't and do a social faux pas, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. There were some really good burlesque acts from some that I wouldn't have even expected, to say the least. But, I enjoyed myself as long as I was able to stay functioning, which unfortunately I had to duck out about 3 o'clock in the morning because I just would not survive any longer.
Yeah, I think I left around 2. I saw a few of the acts that were very interesting.
You missed some of the better ones.
I probably did, but that's okay. I got to see Nightmare Moon, and that made me happy.
Fair enough. We'll leave that one alone. All right. Yeah, Vaguely Creepy did mention it. It ended not long after I left, so I only had a few more acts left. I just couldn't stand awake any longer. Though previous panel I was there actually threw out a bag of candy dicks. I actually got several of those, and I tried to give one to all of the people that were in my room with me. I forget who wasn't the one. I think it was Harvard that ended up not taking his, but yeah, no, everybody else sucked one of the candy dicks just because it was hilariously stupid.
Well, you know the saying, right?
I don't actually, I guess.
Well, you know when you're pissed at somebody, you yell at them to go and eat a bag of dicks. So.
True, but we were sucking on them, so.
Well, there are many things we can say. But yeah.
Oh wow! So apparently it went longer than they expected. They got forced out by con security. Wow.
Yeah, it was over by an hour on some of this stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of things ran longer than expected just because it was a line con. It really was a lot of lines, but.
Yeah, I did not really partake too much in concerts because, again, 8th mile to walk at night in Baltimore.
Well, at least on a good note, it looks like Jonathan Zhang's YouTube actually has everything from the BronyCon live stream, so I think the concerts are in here too. Day 3 evening, Day 2 evening. I'm hoping the Day 1 evening is in here. Anyway.
So one other memorable thing that I think for me was when I went to the rave on Saturday. That was actually my first time going to an actual concert like that. And it was the first time I actually danced with people.
Yeah, no, I've done that before at other cons.
No, this is like my first time in my life. And I decided that I was going to start a revolution, and I started doing the disco dance.
Oh, you mean what I normally do whenever I'm like, okay, I need to move. Disco!
No, you don't do the disco dance. Crying out loud, no. You do the Carlton.
Exactly. And if I need you to move, I'll beat you with my cane. It's fine.
Does jumping around count as dancing?
Yes.
You know what? It's a rave. It counts.
Yeah, you don't need to know how to dance. You just need to be able to.
Okay, no, something stupid I have to add here. We did go to the candy store called It's Sugar. The funny thing is, when me, Cole, Creature, a bunch of others, Marzipan was there too. We all went in there all at the same time. Like just shortly after we got in, it started playing Sugar. The song Sugar.
Perfect. Now, Maroon 5 or Sugar Sugar Honey Honey?
I don't think it was either of those. Do you guys remember which sugar it was?
Was it Pour Some Sugar on Me?
I don't think it was that one. No, it was like some sort of 90s one.
That was the 90s.
Oh, honey, honey.
No, I
definitely
already
not.
gave that option.
Hold on, Toa, am I losing it? Do you remember which sugar it was?
I was not there.
You're not. I'm not Toa. Coal Dust. Marzipan?
Sorry, what?
Do you remember which sugar song they played when we went into its sugar?
Were they playing the Backstreet Boys? I know they were playing the Backstreet Boys at one point.
Yeah, that got in there too. It was a lot of like 90s pop stuff. It was really weird.
Yeah,
I'm more into the rock scene, so I have no clue.
I was gonna say, was the System of a Down?
No, I mean, it even did the lip. It had the lip gloss song later. That was really weird. I never heard that song in forever. I don't know. It was a sugar related song, which just made it even weirder.
Oh, there were some really delicious candy bars I picked up from there.
Yeah, they did look. The candy bars look nice, but I'm glad I got my Sasuke inspired ramen melon drink.
Yeah, lollipop? I don't know.
Was it? No, it wasn't lollipop.
By the way, just a real quick thing, because I feel like this is something worth noting at some point during the stream, and I don't know if it happened while I wasn't here. Did you mention the Pony Humble Bundle that's going on right now?
I said that right off the bat.
Oh, good. Okay, never mind. As you were.
All right. Okay, so anyway, that's something
Yes, Circuit, I was technically right if you were going for 90s. Sugar from System of a Down came out in 1998.
Fair enough.
But let me see. Fly, Sugar Ray, Sunday, Sugar Ray.
No, definitely not sugar.
Sugar Never Tasted So Good? Really? The White Stripes had a song in 99? Let's see. Brown Sugar, D'Angelo, Candy, Mandy Moore.
You know, I think it'll come to me when I least suspect it. So let's just go ahead and move on here while we're already going into overtime, just so we can try.
How did they start Sugar Songs 90s and I got Intergalactic?
Because that song is sweet. Oh god, that hurt my sensibilities. That song is sweet. All right. Okay. So anybody else have anything they want to throw in there for Saturday at the con?
Saturday and Sunday?
Well, we'll go with Saturday and then we'll jump into Sunday, since that one was pretty much everybody trying their best not to blubber as the closing ceremonies began, or getting their last minute merch perch in.
Right.
Saturday,
So right after I got done with my shift, guess what I did?
You went home?
I ran right down to the line for Brony Palooza, and then they told everybody to scatter until 7. Like, oh, we don't want you to get trampled. Everybody scatter. The Brony Palooza line doesn't start till 7. Until then, I went back in line, and then only to be taken to where the registration line was, and we waited in that line for over an hour and for about 2 hours. But it wasn't all bad. We were all singing and whatnot.
That's not bad.
And some people were even tossing the balloons around. But guess what other line I saw while I was in that line?
What
line for Lauren Faust's autographs.
Oh, the Lauren Faust autograph line was hilarious when I saw that one at one point.
There was a sign like, oh, this is the end of the line. I am the last person. No one after me. Well, anyway, so Michelle Krieber and Black Griffin started late due to sound checks or whatever. And then hits about 8:30. We go in. We wait for them. Then the concert hits. And we all start dancing like a bunch of jackasses, including myself, where I jump up and down and shake my fists and everything.
And I entered probably around middle late of the set before Michelle comes out, but during the Brown's father dance off with AC and Saber Spark.
Yeah, oh yeah, she did come out midway, but I was toward the front, but they let the sponsors and the accessibility people ahead of us, so I did not get to reach the border where Michelle, where they come out and give you high fives or bro hooks or whatever.
Palm slaps.
You want to know what the annoying thing was throughout the whole concert?
What?
The balloons and the ball. Ah, I don't see why those are fun after a while.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually people started popping them on purpose.
Yeah, I personally enjoy the balloons. I feel it adds. Ugh. Blah.
enjoyable
It doesn't
at
add
first.
sickness. That's not what I'm saying.
They're enjoyable at first, but then they get old after a while.
They don't
Toward
usually
the
stick
end
around
of
for
the,
too long.
But toward the end of their set, I jumped, and I think I collapsed again.
All right.
At that point, I had to stop jumping around, and that's pretty much the end of the evening for me.
Jump, 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 flop.
And that was when my evening began for the concert, because like I basically cut in like when Michelle Creeper was supposed to end. For some reason, Michelle Creeper and Black Griffin's set went on like way over time. Like I think probably like what 20-40 minutes over.
They're VIPs.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
everybody
but,
wanted to
I
try
would
to get
just
as
go
much as
for
they can in there. They
them.
crammed everything they could, and I can't blame them.
I mean, hey, I have every right to be disappointed because they cut into Odyssey's set, and I fucking love Odyssey.
Oh no,
But
Odyssey is awesome.
But I digress. The concert was fucking amazing. That was the night of the super band, and oh my god, it was a super band. Creature and Marzi tagged in as well as T5, aka Quick Fix. Me and Quick Fix, we stuck it out for the entire night, and it was fucking awesome. Like, straight up, it was just lit. Marzi found us in the video, which was weird, but that's a thing that happened apparently. Anyway,
Yes,
so
I did.
effectively, we made it up to like, I think like 3 rows from the front during the super band. And it was great. They went through all sorts of pony musicians, a lot of them who hadn't been around for a while. They had DB Pony, which was intense. DB Pony and
Mike the Mike was there.
well, I was going to get into his set first. So DB Pony, he played his hit song Wonderbolts. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's great. It's fucking amazing. And it also features Prince Whatever. So Prince Whatever was there, so that went off like amazingly. And yeah, like Toa said, Mike the Microphone was there to sing his cover of Juicy Bard. Or no, not Juicy Bard. The French's Witchcraft song. Fuck.
No, that is Gypsy Bard.
No, there's
Well, it could be I Gave My Love and You Turned Away.
No.
Or Princess of the Night.
No. It was a Pinkie Pie song. It was the Watch Us Work My Gypsy Magic Sea Pony.
Yeah, so it is a gypsy
that
song.
is Gypsy Bard.
No, it's Gypsy Baking. It's a Gypsy Baking.
Yeah, it's Gypsy Baking one.
Yeah, Gypsy Bard is the one that's like, when you're ripe with devastation, there's a simple
Okay,
explanation.
fair point,
Yeah.
fair point.
It's the other one.
Yeah, we know what you're talking.
Yes, and I'm really disappointed in myself that I forgot the name. I'm tired. Anyways, and yeah, no, that was fucking amazing. Yeah, there was just like, they had Sarah the Wolf, they had like fucking all sorts of people who played like year to year to year. P1K played his song Color of Lights for the last time.
The chat's got it. Pinky's Brew.
Pinky's Brew.
There we go. Pinky's Brew. I deserve to be dropped down like 1 level in Brony cred.
It's okay. We're all straining to try to wrap things up right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess
P1K
P1K played Color of Lights for the last time because that is specifically a song he wrote for BronyCon, and he has only ever performed it for BronyCon. So that was the last time he'd ever perform Color of Lights, and that makes me so sad because I freaking love that song, but also I'm just so happy I was able to catch the last play of it.
Well, in that case, I'm kind of glad that we have recording of it then.
Yes, it was so great. And also, as they wrapped everything up, they wrapped the last two songs they played. The second to last song they played had everyone in fucking tears. It was Great to Be Different by Forest Rain. Forest Rain wasn't the one who was playing it. It was actually, if you recall back to BronyCon in I want to say it was like 2012. It was back when it was like an early one, the one where Forrest proposed that year. Yeah, it was the guy who they brought on stage to play that song that year. They brought him back specifically to play it again at the last Brony Palooza, which was just amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, I fucking cried a lot.
I'm sorry. Great to Be Different is a song that we all.
Great. It's great to be different. Agree to be different.
You messed it up.
Agree to be different. We got the horrible knockoff version. It's a polka. I agree to be different. Agree to be okay.
And then they finished off the super band with the Smile song, which just felt like a good thing to end off on. It was very lighthearted. I should mention too that for Forever Free Brony, when he played in the super band, they had like a full-on choir, which was fucking awesome. Which I knew some people who were in that, which just makes me happy to see them like on stage. And I was out there being like, yeah, I cheered extra loud for them at that point. Not just kidding. I couldn't cheer any louder because I was cheering loud the entire time because it was freaking amazing. Anyhow, so then we got to Odyssey Eurobeat, the ultimate person to end off any Brony Palooza, and he fucking slayed. But unfortunately, they didn't have enough time for his entire set because they did have to close and get everyone out of there by 3 o'clock. So we didn't get to hear his entire set, but we did get to hear his last song, the song he prepared specifically for BronyCon this year, and that is his 2019 version of Discord.
Which is now on Bandcamp. Go buy it. It's on Bandcamp right now. Go buy it.
Yes, it is on Bandcamp right now. Do go buy it. Buy it now. It's also on YouTube. Listen to the hell out of it. Come on, guys. It's fucking great. So yeah, Brony Palooza. It was absolutely amazing. I had an amazing time. I can't say anything truly negative about it. I do wish we could have heard his entire set, but I'm so glad to have heard all that I did. It was such an amazing experience. 10 out of 10. I'm really hoping that I can go to more Pony concerts after this because it was great.
Anyway, go to TrockCon.
Yeah. Anyways, go to TrockCon.
All right.
And I'm glad that became a meme. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It basically became a meme, but it's still going on even now, and a lot of people are starting to jump onto the TrockCon thing. So.
Yeah, it's funny because like now there's a ton of people in the Northeast who would like to go to a convention that's kind of nearby. And this convention that usually sees like 900 people has now got thousands of eyes on it.
Correction, I think they usually don't have more than 300 at TrockCon.
No, they have more than that, but it's usually a smaller convention, but it's still really, really nice, and I enjoy the hell out of it. And I recommend anybody go and check it out. It's smaller, but because of that, it just feels more together. You get to a chance to really be with people instead of just being swarmed up in a crowd.
Warning, it's also very adult oriented.
They have an adult artist alley that they check IDs at. Enough said.
All right, I really need to go to TrockCon.
I'm down.
So there was this one panel that we went to where they had to check IDs because it was in the Hall of Chaos, and my form of identification this time around was my passport, and the guy at the security was like, hey, did you hear what I said about passports earlier? And I was like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? Or am I not supposed to use them? That was all the thoughts going through my head. He was like, I think they're classy as fuck.
Okay,
Okay,
wow,
cool.
what a reversal.
Well, and then I was after you, and then I showed him my passport card. He had never seen one of those.
Can I just use my beard and the fact that I look like I'm 30?
Doesn't work.
Why not?
I have no idea. I don't know why. It should work. It really should.
I
don't look
know.
like I'm
Just
anywhere
follow the
near
fly,
18
I guess.
anymore.
She'll die.
But I don't care. All right, so let's go
I can't
ahead.
even buy cigarettes for grandma. I get carded.
Well, that one I'm not too surprised. They're pretty much required to card anybody that doesn't look like they're basically 1 foot in the grave.
Mm-hmm. Well, I walk around with a cane. I mean, I should be able to.
That's your problem. Okay, so let's back on track with that, like we ever have one. So that anybody else have any other quick things for Saturday, or should we go ahead and throw into Sunday?
If anybody saw me in a red towel on my back, that was me.
Yeah, and I was the Hollow Knight running about. I got stopped for a lot of pictures. Even someone was filming something and had like 2 people.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having to jump in here. So yeah, Drada, I do apologize that we went a lot longer than expected. Then again, this kind of happens every show.
Yeah, this is basically our status quo.
Actually, this is pretty bad considering we've only had one topic and we went 2.5 hours on the topic. But
yeah, you guys suck.
It's perfectly fine. It's just I wanted to get in my kind of story about closing ceremonies, which is I was the 3rd person in line to actually enter the actual main event's hall.
Well, now's the best time to do it. Go ahead and shoot.
Okay, so at 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, I traveled to the actual line for closing ceremonies, and security hadn't even told us where the line started yet, and we started the line at 1:30 p.m. And originally I was like 20 or 30 people back. And the craziest thing was I had a friend that was literally the 2nd person in line. And he sent me a message and stood up and I waved. And I'm like, cool, I get to cut 30 people for closing ceremonies. After they let in everyone, they said they were going to only allow 50 people into that room. I was number 3.
Nice.
So I actually was able to get actual footage of the thing. I will have that actually on my channel later in the week. But anyways, thanks, Circuit Main. I just wanted to get that story out there because, yeah, if you didn't show up 4.5 hours early, you probably were not going to get it.
Oh, no. Cole, Creature, Mozzie, and me spent our last moments at BronyCon helping a mermaid inflate a shell, then deflate the shell because we had to leave.
I had to get hide out in my hotel room because I basically had blisters on my feet. My legs were refusing to work, and I needed to rest.
Yeah, there were not a lot of happy bronies at closing ceremonies, especially since I'm going to put this out here, and it's no offense to the staff because they did a phenomenal job, but there was a row of seats, about 15 chairs empty in the row in front of me at closing ceremonies.
Do you know if they were reserved or?
No, they weren't reserved at all.
I have no idea then. I really don't.
Well, yeah. I honestly think that could have been for any disabled or able person that wanted to get in.
Well, in any case, I'm getting back on track here. So Drada, thanks so much for spending time here. We'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. Anybody have any other quick thoughts on Sunday, or if there was something on Saturday particularly noteworthy? Toa, that doesn't mean no if you don't have to say anything unless you have something very specific in mind.
Sunday will be pretty brief. We just met up for lunch, and then I rested up. And then instead of going to closing ceremonies, I got to take down for 6 hours, and then finally the staff dead dog.
I watched closing ceremonies on Twitch. I ended up getting very heavily buzzed. We played House on Haunted Hill. I ended up becoming the main bad guy after about 4 turns, and ended up getting trolled by both the people and the game until I died an unfortunate death. But it was fun.
Basically, Saturday was me just posing for pictures and people being surprised. I did, as I said, run into the Japanese bronies cosplaying Cadence and Celestia, and I showed them my thing and tried to communicate, and they, the one I was talking to was very amazed that everything I had was 3D printed, and in 6 spots, no less.
Cool. All right. And finally, is anybody else have any other quick things to throw in there, or should we go ahead and consider this a wrap-up of BronyCon for now?
I think this should be the nail in the coffin for at least our
For-
personal discussion.
Well, for the discussion of the con in general, but yeah, we'll probably come back to BronyCon at some points just to talk about the history that it leaves behind. However, I do want to remind people this is not the end of anything. BronyCon was a massive beacon, but at the same time, it was a massive beacon. The thing about something this big being taken down, it means it frees up people. Now a lot of vendors are going to have a chance to spread out to other cons and actually spread the merchandise around. A lot of other people are going to be able to attend the smaller conventions that are still out there. Speaking of which, there's also, I think Equestria Daily said there's like 18 or 23 different conventions worldwide. Several of them here in the United States. We have Everfree Northwest that is going to a bigger venue next year. BabsCon still going on. TrockCon going on. There is also Ponyville Cider Fest that I believe has also been confirmed for another year, but I am going to go to that one here in a few months. That's also going on. HarmonyCon, there was another one. There's a lot. There's honestly a lot. And the show itself is getting close to its end, but the community, this should show everybody, the Brony community is still as strong as ever. In fact, it may even be considered stronger at this point.
Well, that's great, Circuit, but what about the Brony community?
It's being run over by the same trains that you adore. Your trains destroyed us all.
But that's impossible, Circuit. They've all been scrapped.
Exactly. They're ghost trains. Anyway, but no, the Brony community this should show that the Brony community is still going very strong, and we have a massive creative side. There's a lot of things out there. There was a lot of vendors that were selling merchandise based off of different things that they've created, different books, different little comedy series, different animations.
This year.
Say what?
I just want to point. There were a lot of dockies this year. I just want to point that out.
There was quite a number of dockies too. Yeah.
With 3 more. Don't judge.
No judging here. But the thing.
Wait a second. The number that they had for like the conventions, not confirmed, but past was 14 other MLP conventions around the world. That's not including stuff that they didn't have announced for, like Sequestria announced at BronyCon, or at least showed.
I don't know. I'm going off of something I thought I read earlier today. I think off of Twitter, so I'm not 100%. But the point is, there's a lot still going on, and there's a lot that will continue to go on as long as bronies still continue to be part of the community. As long as things still keep getting created, as long as conventions are still attended, as long as music is listened to, as long as we continue to do what we are already doing now, there will always be a community, there will always be more conventions, and yeah, they're not going to be a giant 10,000 person convention, and that might be for the better, so you don't have to sit in a line for an hour just to hopefully get into a panel that it may end up being overcrowded anyway. Because nobody wants that. That's no fun.
Have an anomaly where there was a lot less real estate because of another convention that was going on. There was the Rubik's Cube thing that was going on.
Well, I don't think anybody was expecting that many people anyway.
Moment, whenever we were having our Sunday lunch, wasn't the story of...
Can I just get some inspirational words out without everybody contradicting me for 5 seconds?
Well,
No.
Oh, okay.
I break it
Let's
to
not.
you, but you are in a panel, an open panel.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Wait, we're supposed to be inspirational? Shit.
We're gonna leave, man. We're
Inspirational at
done.
all. I am too much of a degenerate for that.
All right. Anyway, everybody, if you had a chance to go to BronyCon, I hope you made the best of it and that you continue to go to other conventions that are somewhat nearby at least, or if not, at least try and travel to one you may have not tried before. Otherwise, if you didn't get a chance to go to BronyCon, there are other pony conventions still out there, and they are a lot of fun. I've been starting to attend more of them to try them out. And all of them really have their own moments of greatness, glory, fun, and enjoyment. I have not went to a single pony convention that I was disappointed in so far. Hopefully that record will stay.
Hey, Circuit, are you going to Everfree Northwest this year?
Yes. No. Well, technically, yes, I am because I already did.
No, he's talking about next year.
This coming year.
Next year. Yeah, I am going to go next year.
Okay.
Well, I think that's our next meeting spot then, unless we all decide to go to TrotCon as well.
Oh, I already got my hotel booked for Trot.
For me, I'm very floaty. It's all how my money's looking and how my projects are looking and how my time at work's looking.
Well, in either case, everybody out there, there's still plenty of conventions, and worst case, go to Horses at Home Con. You don't have to go anywhere except your computer.
No.
Ha.
Anyway, I think that's about it. There won't be a closing song for tonight because we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. And Creature, I am so sorry. This is probably going to be the video from hell because there's very little that we can edit on this, and it's just going to be massive. But I think that's also what it means, how much BronyCon meant to us this year, and for this final one. We all had so many stories, so many things going on that we easily took up 2+ hours, and we could probably keep going if we didn't have to keep running people roughshod. So, so everybody out there, thank you so much for attending BronyCon. BronyCon, thank you so much for holding a convention for several years and being the big, shining Brony beacon that we needed for a time. But we're also glad that we've had a chance to say our goodbyes and to move on to other bigger, better, greater, and more amazing things here in the future with different conventions, events, and who knows what else that will come with the Brony community. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream now. And I hope everybody has a great night. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good morning.
And those of you watching stream, we're going to be coming back here with the video segment, with our video shenanigans here. The Coffee House After Party. It will be over on thebronyshow.net on our Vaughn channel, so make sure you go to thebronyshow.net so you can capture our Vaughn stream. It will not be anywhere else because we are very paranoid of YouTube. So yeah, we'll see us over at Vaughn Live in just a moment, and we will have fun, silly videos for you to enjoy. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great night as well.
And remember, you just tell Creature to remove the background noise the best you can, do the compression, and upload it. Who cares?
We tried to do that. Every time we try to remove Toa, he keeps coming back. It's like a virus.